of our economy.
He tells the Ruthless podcast it costs Americans a lot of money. The proposed change will have a lengthy review process and likely face a court challenge from environmental groups, which argue the administration is denying reality on climate change. The New York mayor says a gunman who killed 4 people and then himself in an office building was apparently trying to get to the NFL headquarters, but took the wrong elevator. He had a note claiming a brain injury from playing sports. The investigation continues. America is listening to Fox News.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The extreme heat warning continues through Wednesday. Partly sunny, hot and humid this afternoon. 99 to 100 degrees. Mostly clear, very warm and humid overnight, 79. Wednesday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Couple of thunderstorms, though, 94. Better on Thursday, partly sunny. Couple of showers and storms around, 84, though, on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk. Glad to be back. And it was pretty wild to see how sunburned Ethan got while I was gone on vacation.
That's all we talked about.
What'd you do to him?
We actually
like
sent him
thing?
outside. We said, it's really hot. Why don't you go outside and take your shirt off? But there wasn't really any context.
You know, when people have infirmities that are on the outside that are maybe like a incidental thing, not, of course, a chronic situation. I just did this to Ethan as he was walking out. I recommended to him that next time he wears sunscreen. Isn't that the worst? Like when people are sincere about it and you're like, gosh, I didn't think of that. I am kind of curious if he did wear sunscreen. So this has been a topic of conversation on the show my last couple days off.
A little bit. I mean, we haven't discussed it exclusively, but we did talk about how he would go off on his own into private offices and lather up, which was weird.
Oil up.
In my opinion, personal opinion.
I'm back. I took a trip with my son, again, inspired by one Ryan Wiggins, who used to talk all the time, does still, talk about how he would prioritize taking trips with his individual children. And I was inspired by that. So I took my son to a trip to Florida this past weekend, had a great time, walked 25,000, 30,000 steps. And guess what? That's unusual compared to my normal step count. I at the end of it, I was like, I'm ready to go back to work and sit in my chair for 3 hours a day.
30,000 per day?
Yeah, pushing.
Wow, you go.
When I took my daughter in April, she was like, oh, we can go shopping. We can sit and watch the shows. She'll ride all the rides, but she often does it because that's what everybody's doing. She didn't need to do any of that stuff. My son's like, all right, what are we doing next? And I was like, let's go. This is the trip for you. So I'm back. I am excited to be here. I am saddened to hear of the situation that unfolded yesterday in New York City. So that took place what time did that shooting?
It had to have been right when we got off the air. It might have been happening when we were getting off the air and they weren't reporting on it.
I saw Nate Foy reporting on it, and I think what he said was it was taking place during rush hour.
Yeah,
so
that sounds right.
I'm all confused on time zones and everything, but this is kind of a tough one to figure out just on the surface. Sometimes it's pretty clear what's going on right away, but it sounds like this guy, he had an automatic weapon, correct? An M4?
I heard M4, but then I also heard that it's not an M4, that it's an M4 styled AR platform. So it could have been semi-auto.
I heard it was an automatic weapon. I think I'll check my facts, but I think I heard that from Dana Lash's Twitter profile because when it comes to these types of gun crimes, she is on top of all the stupid. Well, let's just say that she's on top of all the stupid that's out there. She's reining it in and talking about how the gun that he had, like there are laws that prevent people from acquiring the type of gun that he had. He broke those laws. He drove from Nevada all the way to New York. And then he walks into a building and mows people down in a building. Like when the reaction to a situation like this is immediately like, see, gun control now. Real news, folks. We need to do something about the mentally infirmed people, those individuals who have mental troubles that eliminate their ability to live civilly among civilization. And I would say I don't know if this guy would have qualified for that in the first place, but he had multiple interactions, I think, with law enforcement where his mental capacity, his disturbed mental state caused him trouble before. We've had this whole what would you say? When did like shouting out your mental struggles become in vogue?
Oh, it's been a slow fade because that was something that was people starting to.
Is it Obama that ushered it like that I'm not okay, you're not okay, or I'm okay, you're okay, we're all okay, or I'm not okay? I don't know how it goes because I'm not one of those people. But like the whole idea of, remember when the word normal became a bad word?
Yeah.
You couldn't say things were normal because then that was pointing out the things that are not normal. And when you can't do that anymore, you're going to lose a civilized society. You're not going to be in a position where you can. Have we not spent at least 15 years being a little quieter because you're afraid you're going to upset somebody or offend somebody. And you know that the mob and the masses are going to come protect that person and not just protect the person who is being called out for something. They are going to double down, triple down on attacking you for saying, I don't feel comfortable with this. This doesn't seem right to me.
It's always done in the name of, well, you don't want to alienate people. And everybody kind of went, yeah, that's true. I don't really want to alienate people. I don't really want to be mean. And so you'd accept their terms. And we were wrong. We were wrong to accept their terms. Their terms were stupid, and they've led to just nonsense.
I do think that wasn't there a news story, and I'm catching up to everything, and I was kind of talking to them, to Brad and Ryan here before the show started. I usually spend the 24 hours before I come back, I'm just reading a lot of Twitter or try to watch the news straight through so I can get multiple cycles of the news from different perspectives or whatever. But with this shooting that took place in New York City, right downtown New York City, it really, as it should, took up a lot of the news cycle, news reporting. So a lot of the things that we would normally talk about, something like this happens, and of course we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. Lives were lost in this. A man who had 2 children and 1 on the way. The woman's in her 8th month. I can't understand that. Are we gonna reflexively here go through the same conversations about gun control now? I mean, Is it true? I see the clip is on the page here, but is it true that they reported on him as a possible white guy?
Yeah, CNN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
CNN did.
These are things that I've heard and read a lot of tweets about, and I kind of want to, I don't know, did you guys talk about while I was out the Cincinnati situation?
No.
Not really.
So that's something I kind of want to talk about too, but the majority of what I was getting this weekend about this, there's a brawl in Cincinnati, and in this brawl, it's a bunch of black people surrounding a white couple. And the white couple, I guess the guy was getting the snot kicked out of him. The woman comes in and tries to defend him, and then she gets cold clocked and she's gone. Like not like dead that I know of, but
knocked out.
You can't look at that situation and say in the video that you're seeing with your own eyes, if it were a bunch of white people standing around a couple of black people kicking the snot out of them, that we don't obviously know how that story would go. It would inflame the movement that has happened and been happening since Ferguson in 2014. So people don't talk about these things because they're the social backlash that comes with pointing at something that is obvious. And I don't know all the details. This is really getting under my skin. Like I was saying, the story this weekend about the Cincinnati situation, the brawl, the beating of this white couple. The story that I kept coming up to in my feed was, why is nobody talking about what happened in Cincinnati over and over and over again? Where is the story on the Cincinnati? And I kept thinking, like, can one of you tell me what the story? Like, if you're bringing attention to this, can you just throw this at me so I can consume it here real quick and understand what's going on? Well, now this story is gaining some legs. I think 5 people have been charged. We don't know yet if they've been arrested. There could be more charges coming. I mean, if you've seen the video, it's very possible that you could have attempted murder based on the activities that are witnessed there. There are people who are on the other side in the midst of like, why is nobody talking about the story and discussing this and reporting on this? The other people, including, I believe, the police chief, says that the video doesn't show the full context of the situation. And I want to know, Ms. Police Chief, what did they do to deserve that type of behavior? Well, this is not civilized. If they said something, we can all sit here and imagine the worst possible things that could be said in an instance like that. None of it results in that behavior being warranted. That's not the way it works. So we have this movement in our society where when people are acting absolutely uncivilized in savage ways, it doesn't matter how rich they are, it doesn't matter how powerful they are. I'm thinking about the shooter who walked up and shot that United Healthcare CEO. He has fans. That guy has fans. This is uncivilized. And the only way to regain a civilized society is to be able to point at something and say what is real. And if it hurts people's feelings, they're going to have to work on that. But that doesn't mean you can't not address truth, because people are going to have their feelings hurt by it. Folks, if you look around and pay attention to what is real, there is a lot that hurts our feelings because we live in a broken world. The only way to encourage the actual enjoyment that can come from living in a civil society is if you're able to talk about what is true and what is real. We'll talk more about the situation in New York throughout the show. We're going to take a quick break because we have Attorney General Andrew Bailey coming up next. He is doing the work, protecting life. Of course, here in the state of Missouri, he's been very, very used to that. We'll talk to him about Planned Parenthood next. Don't go away. Michael's Flooring Outlet. You can find them online very simply. Just visit igotfloored.com. Flooring is it's going to be an investment. Yes, anywhere you go, of course, it's going to be an investment, but it does make a gigantic transformation when you install that new flooring in a space. It could be a small space. It could be a basement that you finally finished. Maybe the kids have moved out and you're now putting in all nice new things because you get to pick your little extra income right now, and you're finally getting to do exactly what you want, and you need to make sure that that hard-earned dollar is going to give you quality and value. That's Michael's Flooring Outlet with 3 locations across the St. Louis area. Shop Michael's Flooring Outlet in St. Charles County. You can shop in West County as well, also in Darting Prairie. All this information is available on their website at igotfloor.com. You can request an estimate as well by going to the website. Up at the top, it'll show you how to get through the process to get an estimate. They can even do an in-home estimate. You're going to have very accurate information when you work with Michael's Flooring Outlet and the very best products. igotfloor.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired? Do you have your personalized income plan in place? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market? And how in 39 years we have never lost a penny of our clients' money?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I heard news here just recently that a Planned Parenthood in Evansville, Indiana, a couple states over here from the state of Missouri, is closing its location. And with the work of the administration and, of course, the work of attorneys general across the nation fighting back and fighting for life, we've seen a cascade of effects that are going to benefit the secure life that we need to fight for with the unborn. Attorney General Andrew Bailey is certainly a leader, bellwether in this effort. Attorney General, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you, Andrew Bailey.
Hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate you having me on.
It's always an opportunity that we don't want to pass up. I do want to talk to you about mifepristone and this medication that can be sent to women. You can have like your own abortion. It's like a DoorDash abortion. It's kind of outrageous to me. This is something else that you've been fighting back against, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk to us about how you're fighting for life.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Look, I believe all life has value. And at the end of the day, we have to have certain health and safety measures in place to protect the health and safety of women and children. But Planned Parenthood is a cult of death, and their deadly lies are starting to catch up with them. We filed the first of its kind lawsuit to hold them accountable for defrauding Missouri healthcare patients by lying about and concealing the dangers of mifepristone. Look, this is a drug, a powerful chemical designed to end a human life. And there are negative and serious health consequences associated with this medication. Every study that's been conducted has shown somewhere between 5 to 10% of women who take mifepristone to terminate an abortion end up in emergency care through bleeding and hemorrhaging and anxiety, depression. If you have an ectopic pregnancy, the risks are innumerable, and it can oftentimes be undiagnosed. And so when Planned Parenthood says things on their website to Missouri women like, hey, this pill is as safe as Tylenol, they're lying about the dangers, and we're going to expose their deadly lies and hold them accountable.
You know, Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us right now. I wonder if you have any thoughts on why this issue is so important to the left, because when you're talking about the possibility of a woman who is expecting, or at least the test that they took at home says they're expecting. You mentioned an ectopic pregnancy, which I will remind people is going to be a non-viable pregnancy. That will need to be terminated one way or the other, because it is a non-viable pregnancy. It's very dangerous to the life of the mother. You don't really know that unless you go in and you find out exactly what's going on in your body. You take a test and you're like, gosh, I'm pregnant. It's saying I'm pregnant. Now I need to do something about this. I don't want to go to a clinic. I'll just get on the computer, have some of this medicine shipped to my door, and I'll take care of this myself. None of this is pro-woman. It's pro-abortion in the sense that it's protecting abortion at all costs, including the life of the mother. Why is this issue so important to the left?
Well, I think they're just committed to a cult of death. And again, Annie, I would go even one step further and say it's not only that they promote death over health and safety, it's that they're willing to actually undermine and conceal the danger to women. The lies go so deep. We've even caught Planned Parenthood lying, saying, hey, patients who take mifepristone, if you end up with complications in the emergency room and your life is at risk, don't tell the healthcare provider that you took mifepristone from us. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do that except to, number one, put the patient's life at risk, number two, continue to promote this cult of death, and number three, eliminate any access to data that would be used to demonstrate just how dangerous this powerful chemical is?
So the advocacy here on making mifepristone available, can you first tell me what have you done so far in Missouri to fight back against the Planned Parenthoods of the world? We know that they are being defunded to a great extent through the Trump administration, but specifically in the state of Missouri, what kind of efforts have you led?
Well, certainly we sued Planned Parenthood to block them from trafficking minors out of state for illegal abortions without parental consent. That's something they bragged about in an investigative journalist video. We've exposed them for that and have sued them on that front. We've also defended the state's attempt to defund Planned Parenthood. Our General Assembly, having the constitutional authority of the power over the purse, determined that they no longer wanted to fund the cult of death that has such a documented history of using moldy abortion machines on women, lying to women, deceiving women, refusing to abide by basic health and safety protocols. The General Assembly said we're not going to fund it. Congress said the same thing in President Trump's big, beautiful bill. We're defending the state's authority to defund Planned Parenthood. We're at the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. I believe briefing is due this week. And in fact, we hope to have oral argument here in the coming weeks. And again, that's just defending our state's authority to set those kinds of policy positions. And we're talking about public money being funded, being funneled to this cult of death. And so that's what the General Assembly wants to put a stop to. They have a rational basis to do so. We've also, like I said, this is the first of its kind lawsuit against their false advertising as it relates to mifepristone. We also fought the FDA under the Biden administration, sued in the Northern District of Texas to block their approval of mifepristone for shipment through the mail. Because, again, that's where you see the problems taking place when there's no physician who's administering the pill, who's been monitoring the patient's health and safety. Moreover, there's been a law on the books at the federal level since the 1870s that says it's illegal to ship abortion chemicals through the mail because the people's elected representatives back then even knew how dangerous these sorts of things were. And so enforcing those statutes and those prohibitions is critical to our work to protect the health and safety of women and children in Missouri.
So just to be clear, with all of the safeguards to protect the unborn in the state of Missouri, is it legal for any entity to provide mifepristone through the mail and send it to somebody living in Missouri right now?
It is my position that it is a criminal offense under the federal code to ship mifepristone through the mail.
Period.
That's what the Comstock law says, and it has not been repealed. Look, if Planned Parenthood and the pro-death groups don't want that law in the books, they need to lobby Congress and get that law repealed. But that's been the law of the land since the 1870s, and unless and until the people's elected representatives repeal that statute, then it should have its full force and effect.
Oh, man. Go, Andrew Bailey, go. Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us right now, of course, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. What kind of success do you anticipate having with this? Fox 2 here in St. Louis says the lawsuit seeks a court order to stop Planned Parenthood from making what Bailey's lawsuit alleges are misleading claims about mifepristone. It's also seeking more than $1.8 million in civil penalties for violations of Missouri law and up to $1,000 in restitution for every Missouri woman who Planned Parenthood provided abortion pills to in the past 5 years. How quickly do you hope to see success in this?
Well, we hope to move this case rapidly. I think, again, there have been pro-life groups around the nation who have been hungering for someone to take the fight to the enemies of health and safety. And certainly at the national level, Planned Parenthood has remained, has not had gloves laid on them, has not had someone take the fight to them in this way. And so this is receiving a lot of national attention. A lot of groups are interested in the work we're doing, exposing their deadly lies. But think about it. When Planned Parenthood lies to women, and those women then end up in the emergency room because of Planned Parenthood's lies, and then Planned Parenthood doubles down and says, hey, don't tell them you took this powerful chemical we sent to you in order to conceal the nature of the harms. That is not only harming Missourians, but it's harming the state of Missouri. How many more emergency room visits and how much backlog did we experience at our emergency rooms, thereby causing our Missouri Medicaid program to suffer? And so that's why those damages are so relevant and important. So putting a number on the amount of harm that Planned Parenthood at the national level has done to the state of Missouri, we can qualify it all day long and say they're killing babies, they're taking innocent life, they're harming women. But when you put it in numbers like that you're actually creating a damaging effect on our healthcare system, people start to take notice.
And Andrew Bailey, Attorney General of the state of Missouri, thank you for being here. It's so refreshing to hear someone actually fighting for women. And I appreciate that you're doing it. You're fearless in it. And I hope that you'll come back and tell us as this case develops. I'd love to be near the top, if not the first, to be able to talk to you about this because it's such an important issue and we need fighters. And I appreciate that as a man, you're not like, this is a woman's issue, because that's kind of the lazy way out that a lot of people take politically on this issue. We need the men and the women alike to be fighting this charge, and you're doing a great job.
Hey, Annie, I appreciate you. Look forward to keeping you updated and talk again soon.
We'll do that. Thank you so much. The Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, right there. It is wild to me that you can have an abortion, like a
mail order
abortion.
I just can't believe we're here.
So think about this for a second. A woman finds out she's pregnant. Now, everybody, when you think about abortion, you probably think about the 20-year-old girl who went to a frat party, had a few drinks, made a mistake, got pregnant, and is like, oh, my whole life is in front of me. I don't want to lose everything that I've been working so hard for. So she orders a pill and she has an abortion. Now, that happens, certainly. And when that happens, mifepristone might produce a gross, successful abortion. But there are women, I think to myself right now, if I got pregnant right now, because I have no intentions of being pregnant, but if I got pregnant right now, talk about a curveball in life, like what that would do. Can I physically go through 9 months of pregnancy again? I am not good at it to begin with. It would be devastating for me to hear. And if I didn't have an understanding of what truly happens, at conception and through development, how you can have a heartbeat at 6 days after conception, like the true biological scientific fact of the creation of life. If you just thought that it was a clump of cells and it was a nothing until I guess you decide, I think it's something now. I mean, that's really all it is. If you're you can't choose to start following science at 20 weeks. That's ridiculous. So, maybe you're thinking your run-of-the-mill abortion situation, which is that 20-year-old girl, but there are a lot of cases across the spectrum of women of childbearing age, where this could be the easy way out. But the problem is, if you are going to mail order your abortion, the chances are very likely that you have not invited into that situation a medical provider, a doctor. Now, we had a comment on here, and I mean, this is exactly the type of comment to me that makes me face palm and go, this is the problem. Especially when it comes to men making comments about this and women making comments about this. It shouldn't matter, but to me, it actually does. A male making a comment that says, mifepristone is proven to be very effective and safe within 70 days. The first 70 days. How the hell do you know that you're within 70 days if you haven't seen a doctor? How do you know? How do you know that it's a viable pregnancy and that's what you actually kind of need it to be a healthy pregnancy in order to have what they would call a healthy abortion? Because if there are other things, listen, I've had a miscarriage myself. I've gone through the process of my body rejecting my doctor said that it's and I trust my doctor wholeheartedly on this issue, but my doctor said it's like 1 in 3 pregnancies actually end the way mine did, which was, I think, within about the first 10 weeks. And he said, and he was very loving when he said this, but he's like, the conception would not have ever materialized into a viable pregnancy. So your body is triggered, it thinks it's pregnant. I'm paraphrasing, so if you're a medical person out there, don't judge my doctor based on this. But the idea is that my body said it was pregnant because it was reacting in that way, but what I had to end up passing myself was not, like, there was not a little baby there. How do you know that when you're ordering this pill and you haven't gone to talk to anyone about it because you kind of want to just put this away and hide it and just, it's your little secret? How do you know that when you take that pill that there's not something else going on? And the men who are out there who are advocating for abortion, you don't have any idea what you're talking about to say, like, oh, science says that within 70 days it's okay. You can't possibly apply some sort of statistic that is out there like that to a woman, because the woman, you don't know what the woman's biological medical situation is. And the truth is, she may not know either if she hasn't gone to a doctor. So we're more interested in advocating for, at all costs, the protection of abortions, and we're sacrificing women in the process. That makes no sense. Because the entire feminist movement that pushed abortion on demand as a pillar, it's like the foundation of what the feminist movement ended up being about. You're doing it at the potential cost of women. Like, go see your doctor. I don't want anyone to get an abortion. I would, if you can have the child and put it up for adoption, do that. Go through the pregnancy and maybe you'll change your mind. Maybe you won't. But it is a life. You can't decide. It's a life now. And when you're watching, good God, all the gender reveals that are taking place, although everybody's so happy. Big gender reveals. I have a whole different thing to say about big gender reveals, where you have everybody come and spend money and give you gifts so that you can be like, it's pink. Why are they all so happy? Like, that's really the choice movement here. They just chose to be happy because they want that baby. The left's alternative to confetti and popping balloons and all of the obnoxious things that people do for gender reveals, that choice to be happy, the alternative is a choice to eliminate that happiness, or to say, this doesn't make me happy, so I'm just going to choose to believe that this is crude, but it's true. This isn't a baby whose life is going to change the future of the planet. This baby is going to go in the trash, in the dumpster. It's a choice. That's your pro-choice movement right there. The science of it, though, that does not change. And if you want to be pro-woman, you cannot take the medical providers that you want to say, oh, a woman and her doctor, pushing that and pushing that and pushing that, when you're trying to say that if a doctor and a woman want to make a choice about the future of this fetus. That was the whole movement for a really long time, which was, stay out of the exam room, leave it to the woman and the doctor. Now you're taking the doctor away because the doctor might have to do some sciencing there and say, well, it's alive. It's 6 weeks alive. Here's the heartbeat. Here are the fingers and the toes. These people have lost their ever-loving minds. It's evil. Thank God that Andrew Bailey is fighting against it. All right, quick break. I'll tell you what the poll question is when we come back. Don't go away. You shopping for back to school yet? Gosh, I hope not. I hate back to school. I don't hate it for my kids. I kind of hate it for me. Like, it doesn't bring back happy memories to think summer was over, but we're kind of getting there. You can stock up and save right now on great deals that they have at Ruler Foods. That's always the case. They always are going to have better prices for you. They carry the good prices, the best prices on the names brands that you love. They also do carry Kroger brands. It's a Kroger kind of store. It's by Kroger. Ruler Foods, it's just affordable. That's the best part about it. And what today is even affordable? Ruler Foods. You can go to rulerfoods.com to learn more, but you can stock up on snacks, Doritos, Cheetos, Smart Food, just $2.49 each when you buy 4. You can also save on Pepsi, Mountain Dew 12-pack products. Buy 2, get 2 free. That's a pretty fantastic deal. And Kroger 73% lean ground beef. Fill up the freezer with some great Kroger lean ground beef. $3.99 a pound, sold in a 3-pound roll. Hurry in and stock up. Shop smart and spend less. Only at Ruler Foods, rulerfoods.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Well, I'm scooping Annie on the YouTube live chat poll today. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell for full exposure of the Epstein details? You can say pardon, you can say clemency, or you can say no to this poll. We'd like to know what you think. Let us know. The YouTube live chat poll. It is 12:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Stop me on the corner, swear you hit me like a vision. I wasn't expecting.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Scooped me on the poll question.
What a scoop.
I teased people. They were waiting for this moment when I came back to tell them what the poll question is, and then they heard it in the time check, and then they just left.
They were on the edge of their seats, and I took full advantage of that as your opening act.
Thanks. I feel like I'm going to say Ghislaine Maxwell different, her first name different every time. What kind of name is that?
It's a name that implies money.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Isn't she from Money?
I think so.
She's testified, or not testified. She went into a hearing with a congressional committee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that under oath?
Yeah, I think so. I
Doesn't
don't
have
know
to
that we
be.
get the full transcript, but
That's like I always ask that question because Hillary Clinton went in for some interviews, and they were interviews. They weren't under oath. And then
is
everyone's
that
like,
under oath?
Yeah.
It's
So
a good question.
It matters to me. Though, you know,
Yeah.
when when the Joe Biden cohorts are going in, that's under oath, which is why they've got a scratch on the record when they go in there. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. So apparently Maxwell is attempting towards trying to get a pardon. And this is sticky to me. Let's listen to President Trump when he was asked about it.
Consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir.
So it's something. He said it's something he hasn't thought about, but he's allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to keep him coming back for more.
Yeah.
All parties.
Yeah, because the quotes that came out of this little tiny press junket there were, I'm allowed to do it. They didn't quote the rest of it. I really thought about it. It's not on my mind, but I'm allowed to do it. And so everybody who's running cover against Trump, quote, I'm allowed to do it.
She's seeking a pardon. Now, what does everybody want? Everybody wants the truth. We can handle the truth. One of the things I did this weekend with my son when we were in Florida is we would go back to the hotel and we would watch a movie. And we watched A Few Good Men and Shawshank Redemption. He had never seen either of those.
Oh, Shawshank.
Yes.
Few Good Men. It's good acting, but
I think it's a really good story. It's good, to get introduced to some court drama. I mean, it's military court, but
yeah.
If Maxwell is to receive some sort of deal or immunity of some kind for all of the truth, exposure of every nook and cranny, I don't know why she wouldn't expose everything if she were essentially let off the hook. We have pardon, clemency, or no. And these are your options. You can go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. I think I'm kind of right now, I'm very open to be persuaded on this by what listeners comment on the YouTube channel or what you guys might say. I want the truth. And I don't, she's not capable of doing more now with Epstein because he's dead. I am open to the idea of a clemency for full exposure of the truth. I think.
Well,
I'm not solid on that.
I'm with you, but it's got to be, there are very narrow circumstances by which I would even get there because I'm a no kind of blanket. But if you can provide enough information that casts a very wide net, and
details
isn't just the things we already know.
Yeah.
Oh, Prince Andrew.
Tell me the color of the suit that Bill Clinton was wearing when he XYZ.
Yeah,
or the color of the dress. Tell me the date and tell me what the weather was like when fill in the blank here was coming. I want indisputable facts.
And it's got to be specific crimes, specific people, dates, things that you can also verify outside of just Ghislaine Maxwell. Because you have to have more than just her testimony to go after these people. So you have to be able to test these things against all other circumstances too. And that's why I say it's got to be a very narrow circumstance where you can actually start putting people away. And not just a couple. I mean a lot. You got to get everybody, everybody and everyone.
And I don't know how this all works, but if we find out at any point in time that you hid any part of the truth or whatever, you're going to prison for life. I would even say I don't know what her circumstances are right now in prison. I don't know how comfortable she is, how uncomfortable she is. But if she spills her guts on everything, can she be on house arrest for the rest of her term?
Maybe. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I think is worth talking about. We know this, though. She spent 9 hours giving testimony on this over the span of 2 days. 6 hours the first day, 3 hours the next day. That's a lot of talking. So,
Brad,
don't
do you
know what
have
it's
any
about
strong feelings on this?
No pardons. I absolutely, it doesn't matter the information that she might be able to give. No pardons. Clemency, I'm open to a little bit, but it you guys
show us what you got.
Yeah, show us what you got, and what you've got better lead to prosecutions. Otherwise, it's worthless. I don't want just the information. If that information is going to go out there, and then I got to look at these people who were alleged to have done these things, but they still get to go on and live their life. I need closure. Closure. I need to know that the people that committed the horrible acts that we suspect they committed, that are alleged to have been committed on this island, that they go to prison,
Is
that
it
they suffer
possible
consequences.
at all that the scope, the breadth of what we think happened, the amount of people that were involved, is it possible that it's a fraction of what we think?
Yeah, it's possible, but there are so many people that were going out to that island. What do you think they were doing? Now, just because they're having affairs, that's not illegal.
Is it possible that they were going to the island? I don't know the answers to these questions. These are all things that I'm just saying out loud, and then I'm noticing some people in the chat are like, Andy, that's stupid because... And I'm like, when they say what they say, I'm like, well, if that's true, that it was stupid. So just spitballing here. But is it possible that there was a part of the island that was doing, like you could go to the A side of the island or the B side of the island? And one of it was, you could, like if you go to over here, then you get where the child stuff starts coming in. Is it possible? Remember, in a court of law, you have to talk about beyond a reasonable doubt. You have to be able to prove absolute guilt in front of a jury trial or a judge if they're assessing the trial. You have to say there is zero reasonable doubt in your mind that this is what happened. And if you can't prove it, even though you can know it,
yeah.
If you can't prove it,
you got to be able to prove it.
You got to be able to prove it.
You got to be able to prove it and prosecute it, just like Brad said.
I feel like she's the only person who is on the face of the planet that we know of, at least publicly, that could be the missing link to prove it.
Yeah, and not only was she part of the mastermind operation here, so that's a key figure, but she's in prison, so you can turn the screws on her and really get something out of her, and she's the only one. So that's why I'm like, well, I don't want to pardon her at all.
No, yeah, we're 3 for 3 here, and hell no.
I
could have put, instead of clemency, I could have put mercy. Which is
the crimes matter too, though, because if it's sex with minors, that's where you really got to get people. Or if there's something else crazy of the internet conspiracies and Bill Gates and all this stuff.
Yeah,
I want to know that stuff too.
There are a lot of sexual deviancies and infidelity types of things that are not illegal.
Exactly.
And we need to know the difference.
Right.
Just go to a Coldplay concert. All right, let's take a quick break. Wiggins America next on dumb driving moves that I have already committed today. We'll be right back.
Than the sun. I've never seen it. I found this.
Stewart's American Mortgage, Bagel Loan. Bagel Loan means $0 in closing costs. You get a brand new mortgage, you don't pay any closing costs. That's a pretty cool deal. And if you talk to Stewie, if you're just like, gosh, Annie won't shut up about this Bagel Loan thing, I'm going to give it a shot. You can call him or text him directly, 314-324-4440. That's his cell phone number, 314-324-4440. Reach out to him and say, I'm kind of thinking about doing a refinance. Maybe rates have gone down. You bought the house in the last couple years, and they've come down a little bit since then. Why would you not lock in a lower rate while it's available if it didn't cost you anything to do it? Sound silly? Trust me. I hope you trust me. I've done it twice with Stewie, and I have lowered my rate to have a super great rate. He always says, you must have had a really great mortgage guy. And I did, because I listened to his advice, and he gives really good advice to the extent that I've asked him other times about possibly doing a refinance to get some equity out or whatever. And he's like, you know what? For this instance, it might be better to do that. He's honest. He's a good businessman, and you're going to work directly with him when you call or text 314-324-4440 and ask about that bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Mark Cox doesn't fake it. He's lived it here in St. Louis. Pro-freedom, pro-family, pro-truth. If it matters to Missouri, it matters to Mark. Mark Cox, mornings on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis conservative.
There's been a lot of talk about tariffs, how it's going to do this and it's going to destroy the economy, prices are going to go up. Depending where you get your news from or your information from, it's going to make everything unaffordable and so on and so forth. Tariffs have absolutely zero effect on the heating and cooling equipment that we purchase. So don't be misled and fooled that if you're told that you have to buy something now because of tariffs, call me. That's the nicest thing I can say. Call me for a second opinion. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one. If you do not dial this number, it will be the wrong number. It is area code 314-293-2600. Again, easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the computer, bartinman.com. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Wiggins!
All right, common driving errors you're making, maybe even right now as you're listening. Pay attention and adjust accordingly. Number one.
Stop looking at your phone while you're driving right now.
Yeah, but you can listen to the radio.
You.
The radio's great. Radio doesn't distract you at all.
Don't look at the radio, though, except for when I'm making a really good point.
Yeah, just stare.
I'm staring right
we
back
can
at
feel
you.
it.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Here's the first one. Driving slowly in the passing lane. I'm throwing these out there to see if any of you guys really do these things.
I do not do that.
I do not do this either.
That one slimes under my
all
skin.
of the driving offenses, that is not it. And if there's ever a reason, and I can't recall a time where it ever was the case, if there were ever a reason where I was like, oh, I'm kind of poking here, and I would just like put myself in timeout, like go sit in the corner of shame.
Oh yeah,
all the way to the right.
Doesn't it drive you crazy though? I'll add this: when you are driving faster than the lane on the right, you're in the left lane, and somebody's still riding you. You're like, look, I'm doing my part, man. I know you want to go faster than I'm going.
It's not for riding in. It's not a lane for riding in. You get out there, you go around, and then if that other lane's open, you jump back into
Brad,
the lane.
Brad, do you move out of the fast lane?
I do.
Let me ask you this. Is there a max speed in which you are going and someone is all of a sudden on your tail out of nowhere that you're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to move out of the way for you. Is there a point where it irritates you enough?
I think almost 100% of the time. If somebody does that to me, I'm like, oh, now I'm going to go the speed of traffic.
If the person wants
what
to
do you think about that?
If the person wants to be an a-hole about it and is like, the way I'm going to get you to move is by tailing you, I'm not going to go slower because I'm not going to cause an accident. But like, there's a way to go about this and be a respectable human being and be like, I'm going faster than you and I need to get around you to move over. But if you're going to be a jerkwad about it, sorry.
But what if they're driving like ridiculous over the speed limit?
Let them go.
Like, I mean, like if they're driving 90 miles an hour and all of a sudden they're on your that makes me mad because I'm like, I'm already going a pretty good speed passing
the
people.
Thing is like, as an aware driver, you should, if okay, let's say, I don't do this, but I was going 82. Like
Way
Ryan
to cover
drives.
yourself.
Ryan is a ridiculously terrible driver.
Old steel foot.
Old steel foot.
If I'm driving
That's a new
82
one.
and I'm like passing people because I'm trying to get to somewhere and that's too fast. I shouldn't be driving 82. Shame on me if I'm doing
Allegedly.
that. But I don't. I'm talking about Ryan. I have a friend who is named Ryan, and he's here in the room with me. Is he in the room with me?
I have no idea.
Ryan smells. Oh, sure. I think he can handle it. And someone is bearing down on me. I'm actually thinking they stole the car, and I want to get the heck out of the way to begin with. But if it's somebody who you could tell just thinks that they own the road, and they're bearing down on me, I will look for an appropriate time to move over, but it will be when I determine that it's the appropriate. But I'm not making the person pass me on the right. That's not happening. But you just can kind of tell when somebody is like, the road is where I exert my power.
See, I'm
like, okay, okie dokie.
See, I drive 70 every day.
Old
there are
Featherfoot.
some crazy drivers on 70.
No, wait. Highway 70.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not 70 miles an hour.
No.
Do you drive 70 miles an hour?
Allegedly, maybe over.
You have a friend who?
At least.
His Ryan Schmelz.
It's not a. It is a guy named Ryan. It's not a friend though.
Hello, friends and Ryan.
Well. I'll sneak one more in here. Not using your turn signal. Do you ever not use your turn signal to turn?
Rarely.
I have another friend who this person and I disagree significantly on the appropriate time to signal.
Are you a heavy
You're a pretty big
usage
stickler for it,
person?
aren't you?
When I have determined that I need to change a lane, if you're turning, you're supposed to signal.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to stop. You should signal before you touch the brake. But on a highway, if you're going to change lanes, it doesn't do any good to signal as you start changing the lane. It's too late.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree.
That friend is also Ryan. Terrible driver.
Last one, really quick. Throwing pistachio shells out the window.
Up. You shut up.
On Tucker.
I got yelled at downtown, and I've never done it again. In shame. Jim Carafano next.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
PointPestControl.com. That's point with an E. Oh, these people are some of my favorite people on the planet. If you have a critter bug situation, a mosquito problem at your house, a spider problem at your house, and one spider equates a spider problem, at least in the Fry home. That's when I called Point Pest Control, had them come out, and I signed up for their quarterly service program. It's my favorite bill that I pay because it means no bugs. No eight-legged figures in my house. I don't have to deal with it. When you call Point Pest Control and have them come out provide that service for you, you're going to get a 10% discount on the top of any specials that they have going on if you mention Annie. So reach out to them at 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. That's a direct line to call Point Pest Control, Missouri and Illinois alike. Point Pest Control is there to make sure that you don't have those pest problems in your house, and they could be like rodents even if you have that type of a problem as well. 636-798-0023. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
An FDA warning. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. They want parents, school boards, and vape shops to know a synthetic opioid is being sold across the country in products easily available to kids.
FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary says he's gone to vape stores himself to see what is essentially an opioid casually being sold.
I've been surprised at the candies and gummies and drinks and ice cream cones. Here's one drink with 7-OH in it. Do we understand what 7-OH is at public health scale?
He explains it's a byproduct of kratom, which is a leaf, but in this case, a synthetic version is what's being put in products. McCary says the FDA is recommending that it become a scheduled drug, and they've sent letters to doctors and retailers who sell 7-OH, warning them of the substance.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. President Trump on his way back from Scotland and just telling reporters he spoke with the U.S. Treasury chief, who reported a very good trade meeting with Chinese officials in Sweden. There's no word yet on a possible extension of a pause on higher tariffs for China. The president also confirming he spoke to the New York City mayor after yesterday's deadly mass shooting at a Manhattan high-rise. The motive still under investigation. The gunman killing himself on the 33rd floor after killing 4 people, including a New York City police officer working security in the lobby.
Authorities finding his gun in the building and also a long note, we're told. Inside of that note was quite a few things, and the 27-year-old really claimed he suffered from CTE because he played high school football. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says that is all part of the investigation, but the gunman sprayed that lobby with bullets.
Fox's Alexis McAdams outside the Park Avenue building where a number of large companies have headquarters, but the mayor says investigators believe the gunman may have been trying to reach the NFL headquarters and took the wrong elevator. America is listening to Fox News.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The extreme heat warning continues through Wednesday. Partly sunny, hot and humid this afternoon. 99 to 100 degrees. Mostly clear, very warm and humid overnight, 79. Wednesday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Couple of thunderstorms, though, 94. Better on Thursday, partly sunny. Couple of showers and storms around, 84, though, on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I would have said 5 times we would have had a deal. I've spoken to President Putin a lot. I got along with him very well. But 5 times, and every time 4 times maybe. But we've had discussions. You and I have had discussions. Yeah. We thought we had that settled numerous times. And then President Putin goes out and starts launching rockets into some city like Kiev, and kills a lot of people in a nursing home or whatever. You have bodies lying all over the street. And I say, that's not the way to do it. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed in President Putin. Very disappointed in him. So we're going to have to look, and I'm going to reduce that 50 days that I gave him to a lesser number, because I think I already know the answer what's going to happen.
President Trump speaking there in the United Kingdom. Of course, he was doing some business deals while he was there. But, of course, the questions about Russia and whether or not they're ever going to agree to stop this war continue to come up, as they should. And we always want to ask our expert friend about that. Jim Carafano joins us once again, senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you.
Thanks. So it is kind of a case study in contrasting negotiating styles. So the Russians are like, if you go to the Russians and say, hey, here's a deal, the Russians go, oh, you want to make a deal? That must mean you need something. So what else can I get? So the first thing when you offer a Russian deal, the first thing they say is, well, what more can I get out of this? And so you saw Putin really playing for time and for really ridiculous demands. Trump is exactly the opposite. Trump walks in and goes, here's a deal. I'm going to give you a good deal, because if I don't give you a decent deal, who would want to make a deal where they don't get something out of it? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, you don't take the deal. You don't say, oh, well, let me give you a better deal. That's not how Trump works. It's like, you don't take the deal, then you live with the consequences of that. So I'm not surprised that the negotiating failed, but I understand it from the president's standpoint, because the President Trump is very consistent. He likes to test propositions. When people tell him he can't get something done, his first instinct is, oh yeah, let me prove that it can't be done. Yeah. Let me just not take somebody's word for it. So I'm not surprised that he tried to get a deal. But I also fully expect him to follow through on making Putin pay terrible consequences for not doing this. But I think the reality is you cannot force Putin to end the war if he doesn't want to. Yeah. Now, he doesn't need a ceasefire to stop fighting. He can have a ceasefire whenever he wants. He just has to stop fighting. So he doesn't really. And I don't think there's enough isolation to prevent him from ever having the capacity of continuing the war. So if he wants to fight this war forever, I honestly think he can. But I got to tell you this, and I've said this on your show, he lost this war a long time ago. He is never going to conquer this country. And the longer he fights, the worse off Russia is going to be.
Is that, in a roundabout way, better for the United States? The deterioration of Russia slowly over time?
I've always thought that, and you can't build a strategy that is dependent on your enemy doing what you want. So you have to do a strategy that's going to protect your interests regardless of what the enemy does. So I think regardless of Putin ever ends this war or not, the U.S. can protect its interests. And its interests are a more stable Europe. That's what's going to allow us to pivot to Asia and focus more on China. A NATO that can defend itself, and a free and independent Ukraine that can defend itself. I think those things are going to happen regardless of what Vladimir Putin does. And so, yeah, we'd all love the war to end, because we all share the president's sentiment that killing innocent people for no purpose serves no purpose. But the reality is the only person that can end that is Putin. And if he doesn't stop that, we have to get on with our lives. And getting on with our lives is going to be protecting our interests.
Mm-hmm. Jim Carafano speaking with us right now, of course, with the Heritage Foundation. There was Donald Trump's first term, and then 2020 happened, and then he came back into office in January of this year, which just seems like a lot longer ago than a little over 6 months. During the campaign, that time in between when Joe Biden was president, we heard some strong words and confidence from President Trump about how he was going to handle this situation when he did get back into office. Do you think that Joe Biden's administration and his policy on this issue made it worse than Donald Trump anticipated?
No. I mean, I think there was always a caveat when Trump said, I can end this war in 24 hours. He didn't really kind of say the asterisk, which is if Putin wants to end this war. If Putin wants to end this war, I can walk in, I can give a deal that neither side's going to love, but actually both sides can live with, and it'll stop the killing. And Putin could have had that deal on day one. The two biggest mistakes Putin ever made was fighting the war to begin with. If he'd stopped, he would have just had everybody traumatized. He could have got whatever he wants. And not taking the deal the first day the president walked into office. So the president could have delivered on a deal if Putin wanted a deal. But I also believe that the president started down this path even before he went in office, understanding that, knowing that he was going to protect U.S. interests regardless of what Vladimir Putin did. So I'm not surprised that we are where we are. And I do think it is, first of all, I don't think there would have been a war if Biden had been a better president. But I also think that by the time Trump came in, Putin is in so deep in this conflict. I don't think he knows how to extract himself. And I think it's fair that maybe the president was not prepared for that. The Vladimir Putin that he dealt with for 4 years was not somebody who bet everything on the poker chip table, right? It was a guy who, when Trump was there, when Trump said don't do that or get out of my way or stop, he did, because and when Biden was in, he was all in. And so when Trump came back, he came back and was facing a different Putin than he dealt with the first term. I think that's fair.
Jim Carafano speaking with us right now. A shift a little bit in the world to what's happening in and around Israel. France came out with a story. This is the MSNBC headline. France's recognition of Palestine is not a gift to Hamas. And now we have, just in the last hour or so, got an article from Fox News that says Starmer says United Kingdom to recognize Palestinian state. If Israel doesn't agree to ceasefire, Hamas must disarm. I was just curious of your thoughts on the current status between these two battling entities and the acknowledgement of a Palestinian state.
Well, I definitely think it shows how irrelevant France and the UK are in the Middle East. Who are they recognizing? There is no functioning state. They're recognizing something that doesn't exist. That they might as well say, we believe in Santa Claus. It's has about as much meaning.
Jim, I believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is there's not going to be a state that's run by Hamas. And for the first thing they're going to do is get rid of Hamas. And by the time there's something that represents a functioning state that we can live with Israel, none of those guys will be they might not be alive, let alone still in political power. So I don't know what they think they're doing, but it's kind of a frickin' joke.
So, Jim, when it comes to Hamas and their activity, their violence in Gaza, I mean, we have the Iran situation as well, with President Trump ordering those strikes against their nuclear facilities. My understanding is that Hamas kind of needs Iran and their support in order to function to their fullest extent. Is that still the case?
I think that's true, and I think it's very likely that if Iran gets out of line, the U.S. and Israel will go back and strike Iran again. We might not have seen the last strike on Iran or the last strike on the Houthis. I think the way this movie ends is there is no Hamas left in Gaza. I'm not even sure there's anybody left to negotiate with, to be honest with you. I think that the Israelis and the Americans will have to get probably much more forceful and aggressive in both taking control of the situation on the ground so they can deliver aid, but also in going after and trying to find their hostages. Because I don't see any of this ending in a negotiating process that saves any role for Hamas in the future of Gaza. I just don't see how that happens. And I think all these France and these other countries, but first of all, they have no stake. They have no stake in this. They don't have any troops there. They don't have any interest there. They don't have any capacity, any capability there. What do they bring? Nothing. They're bystanders. They're freaking sitting in the stands in the last row, and they're telling the quarterback how to call plays on the field. That doesn't work.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano here. Last question, kind of a 30,000 get into the mind of Jim Carafano question for you here. Since Donald Trump has been in office for 6 months, he hasn't solved all of these conflicts, but he has taken some serious actions to get to the place where we have a more peaceful world. Has he made huge strides, or is it too early to determine if the Trump doctrine on all of these different conflicts is going to result in safer areas, or peace might even be too big of a stretch?
Well, look, I think, and again, not a Republican, not a Democrat, don't have a dog in the fight. I think it's just objectively speaking, it's the best actioning of foreign policy that we've seen since Ronald Reagan, without peer. I mean, he is both looking after America's interests. He's doing it in a way that's not risk averse, but it's also prudent. He's respecting American power and American lives, and he is where he can, without putting America's interests at risk, exercising the humanitarian impulses to stop wars, stop suffering, have better friends and neighbors and more prosperity where it can. It literally is. I can't imagine anybody doing better. Now, anybody can have a perfect foreign policy in their head, but having one in the real world, dealing with real world problems, I really find it hard to think that you could manage a better course through the world in which we live than what he's doing, and every step has actually been forward. We haven't, it's not like, well, things are bad, maybe they'll get better tomorrow. I think we've made progress since day one, and I think it's quite extraordinary. And again, I say that not as a Republican or I just as somebody who's trying to actually be objective about observing, a lot of precedents over a lot of years.
Last question before we go. Is there a threat that isn't being talked about right now that you pay a lot of attention to, but it doesn't get the headlines, like the Russia-Ukraine thing or the Middle East? Well,
actually what's interesting is the threat of global terrorism and what we're not paying attention to is actually how effective these guys are. I mean, they've probably taken out 200 terrorists in the last 6 months. I mean, significant, serious people.
The Trump administration?
And nobody's paying attention to it. The Trump administration.
Well,
so, yeah.
We appreciate you.
He's not solving all the problems, but he is paying attention to the entire world. So he is not, one thing we know for sure, Donald Trump, not an isolationist.
Jim Carafano, we're grateful for you. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. We are only 6 months in, and I think the biggest contrast here, it's hard not to see it this way, I think, whether you agree with what President Trump is doing or not, but what a difference it makes for a president who's got his hands firmly at 10-2 on the wheel and is making educated decisions, listening to the experts he's surrounded himself with to take decisive action. I feel like the entire Biden administration was a political poll that they would only react to for long enough to take the next poll that they would then react to. Scary foreign policy.
And that's what politics had become really until Trump. I'm not saying George W. Bush was exactly that, but the vast majority of politics had become, well, let's sort of lick our fingers, stick it in the air, and we'll just sort of respond whichever the way the wind's blowing.
I'm okay. I know people are going to be like, oh, Annie, stop it. But I feel like George W. Bush was principled and had, if he was swayed one way or the other, I feel like his starting point was of one of principle. And then maybe politics or whatever. I don't know. I was too young. I wasn't following it the way I follow things right now. But gosh, I know a lot of people have a lot of varying thoughts on George W. Bush. I still like him. But it's like, what is the integrity that you bring to the office? Because that's the starting point. And then anybody who has a shred of wisdom in their person is going to listen to people who are very well educated on, you can't be fully educated on everything you have to do as a president. What you need to do as a president is have the wisdom to surround yourself with the smartest people you possibly can that will likely disagree with regularity with the other smartest people in the room so that you can hear all the possible educated thoughts on which way to go. And then you need to have the wisdom and the love for the country in your heart to make the best decision based on the information you've been provided by the smartest people in the room. And Joe Biden wasn't even in the room.
What you're saying about George W. Bush is right. That is the way he is, but that's a lot of politicians. Here's the thing. We thought as a country until 2016 that was kind of the best version of a politician that we might get. And then President Bulldozer came in and said, I don't give a rip about anything, and remade the game.
Well, and I have said this many times back in 2016 when I was doing a Saturday show and that race was going on. But the Republicans, it's different now because Donald Trump was the wrecking ball to the whole game, which is why the Democrats are in shambles because they don't know what to do. Republicans were always campaigning against the caricature of what a Republican was that the Democrats determined. It wasn't like, here's who we are, this is what we stand for. It's like this holier than thou, rich, wealthy person who wants more wealth and riches for themselves and more power for themselves and doesn't want the government to step on their opportunity because they've already made it to the top. White people. I mean, that's Christian, Bible-thumping Christian, where they, I hear this all the time. It drives me absolutely crazy, but like, Christians think they're so much better than you. Well, if you're around someone who's using their Christianity to explain to you how much better than they are, that's not Christian. That's actually anti-Christian.
That's prideful.
It's like, I mean, a deadly sin.
Yeah.
That's not Christian faith, and I don't want you to besmirch Christians or way down the list Republicans because of those jerks. Like, that's not how it's supposed to function and work. We can talk more about this around the other side of this break. Our YouTube poll is, would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell?
I think you got it.
For full exposure of Epstein details. Let us know on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
We're going at it tonight. There's a party on the rooftop, top of the world tonight. And we're dancing on the edge of the Hollywood sign. I don't know.
The Retirement Advisory Group, online at retirementkey.com. Details of what I'm talking to you about here are available there. These seminars are quick. They start at 6:30. They last maybe 45 minutes. If you want to tack on a little bit of time for your evening, show up early. I'll get there at 6 o'clock, and I'd love to meet you before this event begins. What is the event? Well, the Retirement Advisory Group, you've heard me talk about Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw. These are people for folks just like you. Retirement is upon you. It could be the case that maybe you just retired here recently and you want to make sure you did everything you needed to do to maximize the hard work you've put into savings. Well, the Retirement Advisory Group has these free seminars so that you can come listen quickly. It's not going to take up your whole evening, and you get snacks to listen to what they can do to help you invest in your worry-free retirement. And it doesn't cost you anything to come to this event or to make this phone call, 314-993-9494. Call the Retirement Advisory Group. Schedule your seat. It's free, but they do want to prepare for you to be there. 314-993-9494, and tell them you'd like to come. Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton. It begins at 6:30. I'll be there from 6 to 6:30 to meet you, hopefully. RetirementKey.com.
This year, fuel prices have been a bit of a roller coaster. Here in St. Louis, drivers finally have some relief at the pump. But when it comes to groceries and food, it's still pretty bumpy out there. Well, you know what can make your ride smoother? The Upside app. With Upside, you can earn an average 8% cash back on grocery or restaurant purchases and up to 25 cents per gallon on gas, which means there's money to be earned even when fuel prices are low. There are hundreds of nearby locations like Schnucks, Burger King, Arby's, and Taco Bell. Download the app and see why millions of Upside users have racked up almost $1 billion in cashback earned. For a limited time, get a 10% bonus on your first purchase with promo code STL11. That's promo code STL11 for an extra 10% cashback bonus. With Upside, you can roll up to a nearby grocery store, restaurant, or gas station and coast straight to cashback earnings. Don't forget to use promo code STL11. Upside. Cashback smarter. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Wish that I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills.
Well, remember, the European Union is $20 trillion economy, 450 million people. I mean, it is head and shoulders bigger than all the other Western civilizations. So the fact is the European Union is the monster deal. President Trump did that deal yesterday. We were all together in Scotland. We got the deal done. So here how it goes. The European Union is going to pay 15%, and they sell us $600 billion worth of goods. That's $90 billion for America, and they agreed for the first time ever to cut all their tariffs, cut their barriers, and let American businesses and farmers and ranchers and fishermen finally sell into the European Union. Massive market. This is huge for America.
So there you have Howard Lutnick talking about this major deal with the United Kingdom. I was watching some of these news stories as they came across and seeing a little bit of feedback. I've heard some people in the United Kingdom think that they didn't get enough out of this deal. But also, according to Fox News, they have made this trade deal and they consider it to be a heavy lift, but one that is maybe the biggest deal of its kind. And I'm not an expert on these things, but I do know experts on these things, which is why we bring Carol Roth onto the show with us. Of course, a 2-time New York Times bestselling author. You Will Own Nothing. I encourage you to check out her book. She refers to herself as a recovering investment banker and a small business advocate. Carol, welcome back to the show. Such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Yes, so nice to be back with you.
So you are an expert when it comes to money things. I am not. Many of our listeners. Basically, here's what I do, Carol. I hear a deal came out like this in the news. I check the stock market. And from what I've understood, you can't just look at the stock market to determine how well the economy is going. When you heard this news, what was your reaction?
So I think that like many others that are investing in the stock market, there wasn't a lot of concern over an escalation. So I think there was an expectation a deal would get done. And then on the other side of it, there wasn't a lot of exuberance because it was kind of what was expected. And I have a little bit of a different take. I am not a cheerleader. I'm an umpire, right? And I call balls and strikes. And so I feel like when we escalate something and then de-escalate it, it's a little bit difficult to go, oh my God, wow, what a great outcome, because we were the ones that escalated it to begin with. That being said, there are some good things that have come out of what I would consider a framework with the EU. And the EU, the European Union, is a massive trading partner for the United States. So there are areas where there are going to be no tariffs paid on certain goods and services. And a lot of this still needs to be worked out. The part that's upsetting to me and in the clip that you played is this idea that 15% for any of our imports is a big win, because previously we paid, I think it was around 1.5% to 2% on imports. And a lot of people say, oh, well, that's the EU paying it. Well, it's not. It's either a US business who's importing who's paying that, or it's a US consumer who's paying that in terms of the price of higher cost of goods and services. So it ends up being something that feels much more like a tax. And the Trump administration just did such a great job in terms of codifying the tax cuts that I felt like now adding a new tax for consumers and businesses, particularly small businesses, is not the victory that they portray it. But God bless them. They're great at marketing. They're great at making everything sound exciting. But the devil really is in the details.
We're listening to Carol Roth here. Talk to us about this deal that was done within the last few days that we were able to accomplish this. The president, of course, if you ask him, he's going to say it's the brilliant, best deal ever made, so on and so forth. But I think that this is an important thing to discuss with experts who see these things differently. How do you measure when the tariff strategy becomes a success or a failure? Is there a timeline in your mind where it's like, okay, we need to see it through X amount of months, years, whatever it might be, days, before you feel like you can make a determination?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a framework right now, so it still needs to go through the final papering and details, and then the EU states and folks that are involved over there need to vote on it. So that needs to happen first, and then we need to put it in place. And then once it's implemented, we do need to give it time, probably a good 9 months or a year to see how that's playing out. Because in terms of that tariff impact, it's not going to show up right away. Everybody's going to do whatever they can to try to, keep the cost from the consumers, or, go into dip into inventories before they go, and order more goods and services and whatnot. So I think that you need to have it a good amount of time for it to work its way through. And we might not see it in the traditional inflation numbers, because we know the way that they calculate inflation is flawed, that they've changed the formulas, they use a lot of substitutions. But I do think that individual businesses will feel it. I think that consumers will feel it. And so we may see that show up more on the GDP side in terms of slower growth or a drag on growth than we may in a traditional measure of inflation.
Carol Roth is our guest right now. I'm looking at the bullet points here that were with Howard Lutnick and that Fox News report, and it talks about the EU is to buy $750 billion in U.S. energy, invest $600 billion more in United States, along with major military equipment purchases. So it sounds like, and this is what the president has continued to say, that this deal with the EU is involving investment back in the homeland, and that re-energizing industry in the United States is a very important part of this entire strategy. I don't recall the commentator who said they question whether or not they have $750 billion to actually invest
Right.
in. Can you just say, yeah, we'll do it when we have it? Is that a realistic number expectation?
So every time we've heard an exciting investment deal, and this isn't just the Trump administration, this is every administration, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of follow up to actually quantify it. And so I do feel like these deals get exaggerated. There is a certain amount of energy that is purchased. I think it's, maybe like, maybe 20% of what they're talking about now currently. And so the idea that that's going to increase exponentially, I don't know that they have the need for it, or as you said, the capital to be able to do that. So it's great that they want to buy more energy from us, but they were, planning to do that at any rate. The same thing with some of these investments. It's sort of unclear what's actually something that's in process versus something that's incremental, how that gets accounted for. And so, it's good, it's exciting. We want to try to push for that. But the reality is that really going to be what we see, and what's the return on that investment, if it even comes close to that number. I cannot think of a deal that has been announced at any point in modern history where we've gone, wow, that political deal was made, really turned into this great economic deal. And so I would like to be surprised. We can be, cautiously optimistic with cautiously doing some of the heavy lifting there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Legitimate trust but verify situation,
Yes.
which I think is a healthy way to we should always be holding all politicians, all people who are making these decisions, their feet to the fire. Just because they're saying the sweet nothings that we want to hear doesn't mean that that's where our interest should end, of course. Carol Roth with us right now. The big, beautiful bill obviously passed. It's made permanent the Trump tax cuts. There are other things in there that are, considerations for the American taxpayer, especially the American worker, for families. What do you have any highlights from the big, beautiful bill that you really particularly like, or anything that you're like, gosh, this isn't what I would have done?
So I think that the tax piece was incredibly important, because if they hadn't codified that, we would have had a massive tax hike, and that would have been a catalyst for a big slowing of our GDP, our growth. And given our fiscal foundation, our debt situation, and the trouble that we are in on that front, we cannot afford to not have continued growth, or any sort of setback that would actually expand the deficit. So I think that was really important. And as somebody who is an advocate for small business, I'm very happy to see that a lot of the small business tax legislation was also codified as well. So I think that gives some certainty to consumers, to businesses, to be able to make more investments. Although, as we've been talking about, I think that the tariff uncertainty undoes some of that, and which is, wish some of that would get out of the way. I'm somebody who would like to see a small, beautiful bill instead of a big, beautiful bill. Maybe a bill that's on Ozempic or a fat shot, as President Trump likes to call it, and get into these individual issues. And I don't believe that enough was done in terms of a plan to reduce spending, which is really driving the deficit. Again, I will let it all play out. I will give the administration space to do rescission bills, as they talked about, and put together a strategy. But at some point, Congress needs to get serious. We have deficits to GDP that are at the same levels that they would be at wartime or a deep recession, when we are not at war and we are not in a deep recession. And we have interest expense that outpaces our spending on defense. That is not a good situation for a country. So if we don't get serious about shrinking the deficits, we are going to end up in that debt spiral where it becomes more expensive to finance our debt. We have more interest that blows apart our deficit. We have to take on more debt, wash, rinse, and repeat. And we cannot afford, very literally, for that to happen. So we do need to see Congress get serious. I do not think the Big Beautiful Bill showed that they were serious on that front. But again, we'll be hopeful that sometime, within the next 12 months, we will get a plan to attack that.
There's a lot more work to do. That's for sure, certain. We're listening to Carol Roth. You can follow her on X at Carol J. S. Roth. I encourage you to follow her there for her expertise. And, I'm thinking in conclusion, when I hear what you're saying about a lot of the tariff stuff, these deals that are being made, it sounds to me like with your knowledge with the economy that you aren't willing to just have a blind faith in the direction that the president is wanting to take this economy. You're kind of like it could work, but it could also not. It could also be very bad. The outcome could be. I'm wondering what you think about the mentality, what your assessment is of the Trump mentality about the economy. It sure was a huge message in his campaign to get reelected. He talked a lot. This is political speak, of course. So what he does in measure, I'm assuming, is to make good on these deals. But he talked about the American worker. He talked about the value of made in America. He talked about taking pride in work, and he put himself among workers, both in kind of private when he would be campaigning or meeting with people, but also very much publicly on a garbage truck, hanging out a McDonald's drive-through window. It's a different mentality coming from the Oval Office right now. I want to know your thoughts on that assessment of where his headspace is when it comes to this economy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's huge. And there has been a huge disconnect between the elite and the working class. And I think that is why President Trump won, because he was able to tap in and say, we are going to consider you. We're going to put Main Street and the working class and the middle class of America first. And I think that's really important. On top of that, Annie, he was handed a very difficult situation. The Biden administration is what handed over to him this very difficult fiscal foundation. And so my criticisms come from the fact that he was in this difficult situation, and we have this delicate choreography that needs to be enacted in order to do the things to make the American dream available to everyone and to make sure that he is delivering on that promise to the middle and working class. And it is not an easy thing to do. I just worry that some of the choreography that he's doing has been out of order, and that, if he doesn't focus on removing more of these barriers, that he is not going to be able to, thread what was a very narrow needle to begin with. And the challenge is, if he doesn't do that quickly, or he makes a misstep now, then come the midterms, he's not going to have the opportunity to finish up the job. And so it's not that his focus is wrong. I think that he's got a pulse on the right things, and there are a lot of people in the administration who understand these things. It's just a difference of opinion in terms of choreography and what should be prioritized in order to make it happen. And I'm sure your listeners are going, well, what do you know, Carol? Have you ever done a deal before? Yes, I've done billions of dollars of transactions. I have 30 years worth of deal making experience. And, President Trump is a real estate guy, and real estate is different from the broader economy, the needs of what happens at from Fortune 500 to solopreneur businesses. And so again, his advisory team, they have little silos of information, but doing that choreography in the wrong order can make the whole dance go off track.
Carol Roth with us right now, and I'm just listening to what you're saying, and like what the president, he had his first term, and then there was this Biden era, and then he comes back in and is doing all of these things, and a picture truly is worth 1,000 words. And leave it to the Democrats on X to put that graph, which I know that you've seen, that's like, oh look, Donald Trump sucks, but it's really the only graph you need to show exactly what Joe Biden did to this economy. Donald Trump certainly has his work cut out for him.
Absolutely. I actually shared that picture and said, I don't think the Democrats, or this isn't the flex that the Democrats think it is, because it was a graph that showed all of the inflation that happened under Biden and this terrible situation that they left the Trump administration with, which just goes to their disconnect with reality and with economic matters. And so this really is a big opportunity to turn around something that's a very serious issue. I don't want to underplay this. We have a very serious situation in terms of our debt, in terms of individuals feeling like they're going to have the ability to seize the American dream. And, we needed to elect President Trump in order to move down that path. So hopefully, some of this noise, some of these distractions will get cleared up, and we will go back and focus on deregulation, removing barriers, allowing that growth to happen, and focusing on getting serious about the government not overspending, because Annie, they take in $5 trillion a year. That's more than the GDP of every country on earth except for the US and China. And still they overspend by $2 trillion. So this is not a revenue tax issue. This is a spending problem. And hopefully we will get some alignment on that. Otherwise, even if the Trump administration comes up with an ability to plug the hole, we're going to be having this discussion again in a few years.
Well, we are going to continue to have the discussion with you, Carol. I love your insight, and I appreciate you coming on with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure as well.
Take care. Thank you so much. Carol Roth, as you heard it, she's an expert on the economy, and she is very active on X. Carol J.S. Roth on X. Go follow her there. The Democrats in that stupid post that they put up, I mean, gosh, guys, come on. Maybe they can't read graphs. That's maybe one of the possibilities. But the Democrats, if you haven't seen this post that they put on X, they've since deleted it, I might add. It shows I don't know when the years actually start, but right at 2020, 2021 specifically, it shows inflation, I think. It's going out of control all through the Biden years. And then they showed it because at this point in time, or whatever point in time it was that they were highlighting the President Trump, in his 6 months that he's been president, show that grocery prices or something are higher than they've ever been. It shows that it was all Joe Biden. They remind me, and I can't get this thought out of my head, but the Democrat Party right now reminds me of the Sicilian in The Princess Bride, who thinks they're the smartest people in the room. They keep using words that they do not understand, and at the end they poison themselves and die because they didn't play the right game with Carrie Ellis, who is also, I think, a raging lefty, isn't he? Isn't he super lefty?
I've never seen his politics, but I mean, it's believable that he would be.
I'm going to Google it in case I besmirched his name. The Dread Pirate Roberts. Maybe I'll put it on him. All right, quick break. Ryan Wiggins coming back in studio. We're going to get to some more of those driving mistakes you're making, ways you're screwing up on the road. Are you making these dumb driving moves? Ryan had to bring up that lady who screamed at me downtown St. Louis because I threw pistachio shell outside my window. I was trying to eat healthy. And I thought since it was biodegradable that you could toss it out the window. She aggressively told me that I was littering and very, very, very much so a bad person. So I haven't done it since then, but you guys seem to think that's okay. Ryan, get back in here. We'll be right back.
Once two strangers climb a rocky top looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from old Rocky Top, reckon they never will. Corn won't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far. That's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home.
Home Shield Foundation Repair. You can go online to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com. Making sure that your concrete is level when it has separated, cracked, and then it becomes a trip hazard. It's dangerous. It's also kind of ugly, but I understand. If you're me, I'm not fixing it until it probably becomes a danger and a hazard, but that can become a big problem. You need to fix it. You want to know the cost-effective way to do it, and I have the answer for you. 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website to visit, and you can learn all about their system that they use. It's polyjacking, a polyurethane foam injected under concrete, raises it up, levels it out real nice, way more cost-effective than having to rip that concrete out and replace it. When you call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636, tell him Annie sent you, and he'll come out and he'll check out your situation, tell you what he can do, what it'll cost. He can give you that type of information, and then you can choose to hire him. I highly encourage the phone call. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox here from my friends at Zero Res. Did you know July is National Carpet Cleaning Month? Because of that, Zero Res is offering 3 rooms of carpet clean, get one free, plus $50 off air duct services. We all have graduation parties and summer barbecues and family gatherings. It's time to call Zero Res. These are the folks who clean without soap, harsh chemicals, or that weird musty smell your Aunt Linda's house always has. Zero Res can handle it all. They do carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, air ducts. Basically, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Now, Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,800 reviews. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020 and ask for the 97.1 FM Talk special. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same, Zero Res. If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell for full exposure of the Epstein details? 3 options: pardon, clemency, or no. Let us know what you think about this. We'll give you the results in just a little over an hour as the Annie Fry Show ends at 3 o'clock. It is 1:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Are you driving dumb right now? I'm not.
I'm not either. I'm in a studio
I might be driving the show dumb.
in downtown St. Louis.
Are you a good driver? Grade yourself.
I'm good because I'm very aware all the time. So I don't know that I'm doing everything perfectly, but I don't get in accidents.
Yes, you do.
Not really.
You got an accident when you were Ubering.
Well, that was because it was
I have a good
ice.
Uber story.
And I hit ice, and I mean, I went for
What kind of ice?
100 yards and couldn't stop.
Did you hit a federal agent?
Law enforcement.
I hit ice. You
I
and
don't
your
think you are a good
political
driver.
humor.
I keep seeing these posts on Facebook groups I'm in that are like, notify your people, ICE is in a certain place.
Yeah, have you seen the apps that people are tracking where they go? Have you seen people using them in reverse? Like going somewhere where they want nobody to be and saying, hey, ICE is at Walmart right now. And then people clear out and they have kind of a free store.
No.
That's diabolical.
That's real. That's really, people are really doing that.
That's so funny.
Just everywhere you go. I don't know.
I don't know.
You go to Disney World or Six Flags. Hey, ICE is here.
Yeah.
Quick lines.
Ethan, how good of a driver are you? Okay, fair enough.
I would put myself at a 6 out of 10.
Brad?
I think I'm a good driver, but I don't know many people that don't think that they're good drivers.
Are you a better driver than Callaway?
Is that the only one you could come up with?
Yeah.
God, you're pathetic.
Would you call yourself a Big Bertha? See? That's why I went Callaway. Because, I don't know, Big Bertha.
It's a kind of driver. It's a kind of golf club.
He's driving well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was lying.
Other driving dumb mistakes?
Mistakes you're making on the road. You might be making them right now. We talked about driving slowly in the passing lane, not using your turn signal. What about leaving your brights on?
How do cars, well, okay. My car can't.
Really?
I can't turn my brights on and leave them on.
How do you turn them on at all?
They sense light and then they go down. Like I mean, even like a reflection on a road sign at night and it will dim them. I can hold them, but like that, I don't forget to let go.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I even tried to turn my brights on.
I used to
Really?
Yeah.
You don't drive in the country.
I don't
much.
drive in the country much. That's the only time to use it.
I used to be really bad at this when I was in high school. I feel like my brights were on all the time. And
You feel like, or they were?
Chris says, Annie, you have to push the bright lights or the brights forward for them to stay on. It doesn't do that. It still dims them.
Yeah, new cars, they will automatically dim them regardless of
My
if
car
you
is
put them in manual or not.
5 or 6 years old. I mean, I bought it new in 2020. I bought it in 2019, but it's a 2020 model. And there are times where I'll be seeing it'll like take the reflection off of a street sign, and I'm driving down the country, and I'm like, no, stay on. They don't.
Do you think we'll get to a point like with phones that people go, you know what I'd like? A dumb car.
Yes.
I don't like all this stuff anymore.
Yeah, especially with the EMP.
I thought of you when I said that. I'm like, you probably would be the
person.
first one in line to buy a dumb car. That wasn't intended to be.
That wasn't an insult.
It wasn't. It sounded like one, though.
Ice, dumb cars, you're really driving this well.
How about, thank you, how about riding your brakes? Like touchy on your brakes.
Yeah, that's bad.
Not me.
Nope.
Where are the brakes?
What?
Just kidding.
She's inferring that she drives fast.
Oh, where are the brakes?
I drive efficiently.
I see. This is not in the list, but have you ever met anybody who is a two-footed driver?
Heck no.
Oh, I have.
Wait, seriously?
There's not somebody in my family, but
Is it you?
it was a friend's mom
This
in
is a
high
friend.
school.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's my friend.
She's
Yeah.
a totally normal person.
Yeah.
Brad is raising his hand.
Wait. In
drive
the studio,
Are you
Brad
gonna
is
say
raising his
because
hand.
he's a clutch?
I drive with 2 feet because I learned how to drive when I was racing cars, and you don't.
But why do you
drive
need to
one
do
foot.
that on 5570?
Well, you
It's
don't
basically
actually.
a
I
racetrack.
don't hover my foot over the brake all the time, but yeah, left foot brake, right foot gas.
I've heard that destroys your brakes, though, because you're using your brakes as your gas.
If you do that,
Why do you need to
Not
do
if you have
that?
a dumb car.
but I don't put my foot on the brake when I'm driving down the highway.
You've mastered it, is what you're saying.
You use the brakes when you need the brakes.
Is your right foot just too tired to go over to the brake?
No, but it's faster reaction time.
But
Well, that is true.
Why
but
do you need? Why?
It's just how I learned how to do it, because in the race car, you didn't have room to move your right foot over to hit the brakes, and there's not a race car driver out there that uses...
But do you just employ all the things you learned as a race car driver to how you get to and from work?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Do you wear pads?
No.
It's a helmet.
I don't wear a helmet or neck brace or anything like that. No, I mean, there's skills that you learn. You learn how to watch farther down the road in traffic, not just the car that's right in front of you, to kind of watch how stuff develops.
Anybody
and stuff like
who's
that.
listening right now who also does that, to tell us on the YouTube channel that you do that too. What did your mom's friend, was she also a race car driver?
Well, she wore all the gear, but no. So
She's
it's kind
a
of
hoser.
the reverse of Brad.
She had sponsors.
She had a lot of checkered flags.
Exactly. It's like, why do you wear
Sponsored by
Purina
Ice.
stuff everywhere? What about if you have a bad seating position in your car? How particular are you about making your seat where you want it to be in the car? Because it can ruin your vision.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how bad out of shape can it be?
My dad basically lays down while he's driving.
That's pretty bad.
There's Mr. Hannaford leaning back, one hand over. He doesn't even hold the wheel. He
It's
just
the freaking
uses the
AD.
inside of his wrist.
Must
He's
be
a
Mr.
freaking
Hannaford.
AD. That's how you ride
How
dirty.
do you know it's him? You can't see him.
We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Okay. All right. Shush. Get it together. I have to talk about Infinite Vitality and how they can help you get your vitality back. I've talked about weight loss with them. I'm working on that right now, along with some hormone replacement therapy. These are people you can trust. Infinite Vitality in Glen Carbon. I've gotten a ton of messages from you folks asking me questions. Send them to me. If you've got questions about what I'm doing, get on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page and ask me your Infinite Vitality questions. I'd be happy to answer them. They also provide amazing skin services, and I encourage you to look at this offering on their website, infinite-vitality.com, to see if it's right for you. Reverse the signs of aging with a regenerative skin procedure. They are wonderful. They are very knowledgeable and very successful, helping you reverse collagen breakdown. They don't give you this younger, plasticky look. They're going to have you look beautiful for your age so you can continue to look in the mirror and love what you see. 618-486-1888, infinite-vitality.com.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
It will
restore common sense. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the U.S. Energy Secretary as the Trump administration moves to rescind a 2009 climate declaration known as the endangerment finding, which became the main basis for U.S. action to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says the Obama administration claimed authority he doesn't believe a federal agency has under Supreme Court rulings.
That an agency like EPA can't just decide on our own, that we are going to get creative with law, and where there's a vacuum and missing language, we're just going to make it up ourselves.
Zeldin also says the proposed reversal begins a review process and 45-day public comment period. Environmental groups say it denies climate reality, and they plan to challenge it. President Trump heading back to Washington from Scotland, where he says the UK leader did not discuss a plan to possibly recognize a Palestinian state during their meetings. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Britain will take that step unless Israel moves to improve the situation in Gaza, including agreeing to a ceasefire. But he also has demands for Hamas.
They must immediately release all of the hostages, sign up to a ceasefire, disarm, and accept that they will play no part in the government of Gaza.
President Trump called for more humanitarian aid in Gaza during his meeting with Starmer, telling reporters on Air Force One today,
"We're going to get a lot of money to the area so they can get some food." He's going to also. I think the European Union is going to put up money too for food, and hopefully it's going to be properly distributed, and it will be. I think it will be.
But the president says he doesn't have to agree on the recent announcements made by the British and French leaders on Palestinian statehood. The president also clarifying a new deadline for Russia to end the war in Ukraine, telling reporters it's 10 days from today. He's threatened sanctions on Russia and its trading partners. America is listening to Fox News.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The extreme heat warning continues through Wednesday. Partly sunny, hot and humid this afternoon. 99 to 100 degrees. Mostly clear, very warm and humid overnight, 79. Wednesday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Couple of thunderstorms, though, 94. Better on Thursday, partly sunny. Couple of showers and storms around, 84, though, on Thursday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show Live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back. So I took a long weekend with my son. He and I went to Florida and had a good time. And I want to ask you guys something specifically. This is a weird question, so listen with the intent of my question. But the things that you have to do, he's 15. He'll be 16 at the end of the year. This is prime time to start learning how to like do man things, right? Where you can't have your mom hold your hand for everything. What age should that? I'm talking like what age should a young man be able to do the things for himself? Like maybe mom helps out along the way, but just life things, transactional things, just the things that you need to do to be independent. Because I know that there are going to be some boomers here who are like, well, I was farming when I was 8, and we just don't do that anymore. That's not the life that we live as a society anymore, where kids are required in a functional capacity to be physical participants in the upkeep of the family's life.
Yeah.
Kids today are super soft.
I would say, generally speaking, though, there are certain things that haven't changed. One of them is you need to be able to grow a full, ripe butternut squash by 9.
Okay.
But past that, living functionally in today's society, I actually would put it later. I'd put it at 18. Doing everything you need to do to live independently.
18, you need to be able to do it. You can't start teaching it at 18.
Starting. Yeah. Okay, so starting to figure out how to do it. Okay. 13? 14?
Start cutting an apron string every once in a while and making them be a little more independent.
I think that's where, maybe even a little bit before that, depending on the kid, but that's where you start to go, I need to start to prove some things to myself
as a child,
as a young man. That you go, oh, I think I need to know a little bit more about how to do this or that.
I don't think that boys have that innate, I need to prove some things to some people that I can do these things by myself as much today as they did when our age was growing up.
I don't either.
And I don't think we had it as much as the generation before that. That like need for independence. You ever hear these people, these kids who are like, I don't need to get my driver's license. That was the best day of my life. That was like freedom. The fact that I could get in a car and I could go wherever I wanted. I might get in trouble when I come home, but I could do it.
That's so funny.
Because I'm legally allowed to do it. Why is that funny?
It's funny because I know so many people who had that experience and I never had it. And the reason I didn't have it, I got my license right when I turned 16, but I turned 16 so late in my grade that every single other friend that I had already had them, and it was like I was already living that life before I got it.
So this weekend, Friday through Monday in Florida, I basically had Charlie do all of the things that normally if Jared and I were out and about, like Jared, Jared's that type of guy.
Yeah.
Takes care of the luggage. You know, when it comes to tipping, bell services, when they take your bags and hold your bags, or when, like you ask for something and housekeeping comes up, you give them a couple bucks or something like that. That's all stuff that normally Jared would do because he likes to do that stuff. I had Charlie paying the bill when we would go eat. Now, it was my money, but he has a Venmo debit card. So I would, if he were going to go purchase something, I'd be like, okay, we're going to get, he wanted a slushie, at Hollywood Studios. So I was like, all right, go get it. So I didn't go with him. I didn't supervise the situation because I can't help myself leaning over. Like, he needs to go experience these things. And if it doesn't go well, he can come back and be like, so Mom, and then we can figure it out. Like one time he went down to the gift shop sundries place that they have at the resort, and I needed some Band-Aids. And he went down there and I forgot to put money on his card. So he got rejected. But he had cash with him because I told him you should always carry cash with you. Always have like $40 in cash with you in case something like this comes up. And then you can pay with cash, but protect your cash. That's my advice. I don't know how other people might be like, oh, only do cash. Well, that's not functional. The funniest story that came all out of this, he couldn't find his wallet one night. It turned out it was in his bed. I go, don't you have a tile? Because when I gave him the wallet a couple Christmases ago, I think it was when he was in 8th grade for Christmas, I gave him the wallet and I put a tile in it, which is a little device. It's a little square device that it's flat. You stick it in the wallet and then you can track the tile device wherever you go. I'm like, can't you where's the tile? Find the tile. He goes, I lost the tile. I go, how do you lose the tile? He goes, well, I have my wallet. After we found it, he's like, I have my wallet, but I lost the tile. Like,
that seems difficult to do.
I don't even know how that's possible.
It's common, though, as a man grows up to sleep with his wallet. You sleep with the ones you love.
I think it fell out of his pocket. But as we were going through the weekend, I thought this is really kind of an important thing that I've tried to encourage some independence like that. I'll send my kids into Walmart and let them do transactions themselves just so they know how to do it. But kids are pretty soft. And I compare to how we grew up, like did your dad teach you like man independent stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he deliberately would drop me off somewhere and go, you go do this now, or
find your way
like that.
home, kid.
But there was a level of expectation growing up that by a certain age, oh, you don't know how to do that? Well, just go do it, you know? And I don't know that it was deliberate. Like you're saying, I'm going to do this for you.
The difference, I think, that is important for me, because I kind of am having an enlightenment. He's 15 and a half, so I've got a few years left to shape him, and hopefully, he becomes an independent young man and is capable of doing these things himself as much or better than most people come out of this situation. But I don't think that the desire for independence in youth today is what it used to be. And I think that for our generation, that desire for independence drove the will and the desire to learn these things. I think we've raised, because we've probably overparented, certainly, like helicopter parents. I feel like helicopter parents were definitely a thing before I was a parent, but could have one toe in that way of parenting. I never have liked it, but I can't say that I've never done it. But if I catch myself doing it, I'm not very proud of myself. But our kids are, in many cases, overly cared for. And when you keep them from failing from anything, then it's like, when do they learn? And if you don't learn some basic things when you are under the supervision of an adult, that could be pretty consequential in life if you're not able to care for your finances, yourself, whatever it might be.
Overcare is one thing. I would say the opposite is true too, and they cause the same effect in a lot of ways, that undercare. Because yes, maybe there are certain life skills, like you're going to learn how to make macaroni quicker if your parents never make you food and stuff like that. But you also...
You say macaroni? Like within the last month, Charlie was at home by himself. We're like, make macaroni. He's like, I don't know how to do it. We're like, read the box.
Yeah, but that's within your supervision. And you're sort of there to help.
Well, I was there.
Cultivate that. Or somebody. He's not alone, is he?
Yeah.
He was alone making macaroni?
He's 15.
Well, that's fine. But if you're growing up doing those things on your own.
I was making macaroni and cheese and everything processed for myself. Like, the only bad decision I made there was, like, eat that processed food in the blue box. Oh. But, I mean, didn't you make food for yourself when you were younger?
Yes, but I think my point is that if you are very young and you are in a neglectful household.
That's not my kids.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I used macaroni as an example. It's probably a bad one.
No, I agree.
But if you're in a neglectful household where you're growing up having to do a lot of things on your own, you are going to learn certain life skills, but you're also not going to have the confidence that comes with somebody constantly speaking into your life that they care about you. So there are a lot of life skills that a neglectful household will not learn, in addition to an overly helicopter parent, that both outcomes lead to similar types of people that are kind of inept at doing basic adult things.
One of the things that he did was he went and did a load of laundry, found the laundry place at the resort, and took all of our clothes down, washed all of our clothes. And like, he did not know what he was doing, but he just figured it out. I think that the biggest thing that I'm trying to convey to him is, like, if you try it and you fail, so what? It's just laundry or Band-Aids or whatever. Like, it's really scary to go into that situation. There's somebody on the other end of the counter who's going to take your money or whatever. Like, when his card didn't work, I'm sure that caused a knot in his stomach. He had cash to cover it, and it was like, $3 or something, but he had 28 cents in his Venmo account. Bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
But once you go through that process and you experience it, now you know what to do or how to maybe protect yourself, making sure, okay, I'm so glad I had cash that time. I need to carry cash. Do you remember any lessons that your parents told you, or do you feel like you just kind of figured it out?
A lot of that stuff I did just kind of figure out in college. You know what they were really good about, though? And it's not that they didn't teach me how to do basic stuff, but they were really good at teaching me how to manage money, which I don't think is a skill that people focus on enough as parents.
No, I remember learning in economics how to use a checkbook. Super helpful skill.
And that's basic. But I mean, even just opening
you use a checkbook still, don't you?
I do. Opening a savings account, how to save. The
value of
saving.
compound interest and time.
These kind of things, they look really intimidating when you're 17. They're words you don't even want to comprehend yet. Yet you kind of need to have an understanding, even if you're not doing it all, of why people are doing it or what's the point of saving.
The biggest fear I think that I have had in those circumstances, and it's not just young men, young women, all these things really are the same for men as they are for women. But the biggest fear is generally like, I'm going to feel stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are stupid. You don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to be unstupid? Go ask the experts who are happy to set up a checking account for you. Say, I don't, like if you walk into a bank and you've got $100 because you just babysat or something like that, and you say, I'm starting to make some money and I'd like to have a place to put it, and I don't really know how to do this, they are going to be pumped to talk to you. Like they talk to a lot of highfalutin people, sure. And if they're not pumped to talk to you and put that $100 in a checking account for you, then go to a different bank.
But that's the kind of stuff you got to figure out.
Yeah. And you have to be able to, this is something that like life teaches you and it takes decades to learn. But if somebody were to treat you a certain way because you went in there and they didn't want to really give you the time of day, that says something about them. It doesn't say anything about you. You're doing the right thing. You're trying to do the right thing. Find the people who are helpful and do business with them and value that. I'm trying to think of all of these other things that I need to teach. No, that I need to kick Charlie out of the nest to go do. And in some cases, Jensen's now 13 as well. She's getting her own Venmo debit card. She could do that when she was 13. So, but she would take Charlie's all the time anyway to use it if she was going somewhere with friends so she could have it.
A lot of it is having the confidence when you're young to say, I don't know.
Yes. That's an okay thing to say.
That's okay. And you're not expected to know. The problem is you don't know at that age how to discern the difference between somebody who's going to say, oh, okay, that's fine, and somebody who might take advantage of you. That's tough.
Yeah.
About being an adult.
Which is where, like, if you go out and do that, having a parent who can help supervise you through that, to answer questions or say, this is what happened, it is important to independently go out and try to do it yourself, though.
Mm-hmm.
We tried a lot of that this weekend. He lost his tile, the thing that's supposed to track the wallet, but still has his wallet. Nice one, kid. 15. Quick break. When we come back, local and sports news with Irfan. You got any good ones this week?
I'll ask you right now. Do you want to do one that's funny or do you want to do one that's insane?
I want you to ask Ethan what he wants. We'll do Ethan's choice.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Mark Cox in studio with Gloria Liu, broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and St. Louis real estate expert. Gloria, while most agents make big promises, you're famous for your upfront written guarantee.
That's right. My name is My Promise. While many agents promise you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business, I'll provide you with an upfront written guarantee stating if I cannot sell your home for 100% market value, I'll pay you the difference.
Gloria, this is what sets you apart from others and why I only recommend you to my listeners, friends, and family. Friends, why risk working with just any agent when you can work with the best? Gloria Liu guarantees your sale price up front and in writing.
Absolutely. And if I don't, I will pay you the difference. The agent you choose in this changing market matters and could cost you or make you thousands.
Sell your home with certainty, confidence, and 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. LitCigar.com. Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Cash for Clunkers is back. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old entry door, too. It's Cash for Clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free, in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Family focused, faith filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
I know you want to say it. This is the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life. This is the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local. Murphin's Burgle Nuts.
Excuse me, what?
Get ready.
Is that out of your brain?
Yeah, this week are ones that I came up with. And then maybe we'll go back to listener suggestions
Were
next
you
week.
under any influence when you came up with these?
Only life and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, gosh. That was inspired?
That's what
That
he
was
said.
God-
No, I
was
didn't
that
say it.
God breathed?
I'm not saying that this is on the level of Scripture.
It's canon.
You were once Ethan.
This would be considered
Blasphemy?
These would be considered Gnostic Gospels.
Oh. Okay.
So this is extra biblical.
Murphin's Burgle Nuts?
Murphin's Burgle Nuts. Wow. Yeah, it
Am
came
I allowed
from
to be here for this?
First century AD.
When you literally said, do you want the funny one or do you want the nutty one?
Yeah.
It literally was nutty.
It's nutty. You see?
Is it nuts?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
nuts is in
Should have known.
Breaking news. NBA star Jason Tatum tweets that he loves St. Louis. Moving on to the next one.
Great.
Did he say he loves St. Louis or did he say he loves the Lou?
He tweeted and said, I love St. Louis.
I heard somebody last week say they live in the Lou.
Did you slap him?
And it was the first time I think I'd ever heard somebody say it in general conversation.
Did they know that we don't?
No, they do not know.
Do they really live in the Lou?
They do. It was somebody I didn't really know.
Were
I
they
just
from
heard
Louisville?
them say it. Yeah.
What if Louisville? You gotta say it like it's a.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah, you gotta say it like you're
Louisville.
barfing.
Yeah. Well, every time I say it, and I'm trying to say it the right way, they're like, "That's not how you say it."
No, that's not how you say it.
I'll say Louisville.
I
And they're
can
like,
tell.
"No, it's Louisville."
That's when you just have to say, all right, you know what? Screw you. It's Louisville.
Yeah.
Just go
Exactly.
full opposite.
Might leave out the screw you part.
You don't want to be the Louisville, then you're Louisville.
St. Louis.
It's not Louisville. It's.
Was that the corn impression? Is that what that was?
Every time I think of that, I laugh out loud, no matter where I am or what I'm doing.
figured you guys would have wanted to know about Jason Tatum saying that. So
Thank you.
Just wanted to pass that on to you guys.
Where'd he go to high school? It's the appropriate question, right? Nobody knows.
Same place as
Did
Brady
he go?
Kachuk.
Did he go to high school?
You go to
Was it CBC?
John Burroughs?
No, I thought it was a private school. Is
All
John
right,
Burroughs
I
a
will
private-
Chaminade. It was Chaminade.
I'll
It was
do the
Chaminade.
producer thing here.
It was
Google
Chaminade. I'm
while
telling you right
we-
now. It was
Jason
Chaminade.
Tatum High
Chaminade.
School.
Woodrow Wilson Upper Elementary.
Chaminade.
No, it's CBC.
Liar.
I was
Chaminade.
Chaminade.
I knew it was. Okay. All right. Moving on here in Murphin's Burgle Nuts.
See?
You did this to me.
Murphin's Burgle Nuts.
They're like,
did.
do more
Wait,
local news.
Wait,
and I'm
later
like,
in the week, they're
we'll
even
do more
crazier.
local news. We're gonna call it whatever that was.
I'm gonna have to. I'm skipping the next story because it's way too sad to do it off
We're
of
not
this.
really in that mode.
No, we're not. So I'm gonna talk about
Out of
instead.
respect?
Yes, out of respect. A lucky Missouri lottery player hit the jackpot over the weekend in Perryville, Missouri. $1.2
I think that's
million
referred to as parole.
dollars. Pervil.
Yeah, you're clearly not from Perryville.
Yeah.
Because you said
You know how we
Perryville.
can tell?
Are you?
No, I'm not. But
He's ancestors. Maybe.
Got it.
yeah. Deep ancestry comes from Purble.
You can tell by the shape of his ears.
Purble bubble.
I can't see his ears right now. There's headphones
That's
covering
right. He
them.
doesn't have any. That's how you know.
The Pervilans don't have them.
Yeah.
Oh,
We just
God.
evolved
I don't
without
even know where
ears.
Perryville is. This is not a slight on Perryville. I'm very happy for this man.
Yeah, the people in Perryville are like, what?
Right.
I was
You
talking
didn't
about
say-
Perryville, Illinois, not Missouri. I was confused. Wrong wrong Perryville.
That helps.
The people of Perryville will have never heard it, though, because they don't have ears.
Dear God, this
What a great
fell
way
off.
to grow your audience, Annie.
The direction,
Your radio audience.
The direction of this segment went down before it even started when I said, let's get nutty. That's when it got really bad.
Take it away, Burgle Nuts.
The 1.2
Burgle Nuts.
million
Sounds
dollar
like
prize.
a hamburglar for peanuts.
Yeah. Or a great candy bar
The
from
nut
Europe.
burglar.
So you could get them confused.
Oh, that's the Burgle Nut.
I'd like to order the Burgle Nuts.
Not a very sweet bar, but
Sir,
it's
you
a
have to go to the back of the room.
historically beloved one.
Nutty. The prize is unclaimed still as of today. Still several months of time before it has to be claimed. Let me ask you
Chances
guys
they
this.
give us any of their winnings after
Well,
this
here's my question to you, Annie.
Yeah.
If you won, what would you do with $1.2 million?
Pay off every debt I have.
Okay, what would you do with the rest? Because I know you don't have $1 million of debt.
I do not that I know of. I would buy land.
To build a home on.
No.
No,
different
just buy land.
Well, buy land.
God's country land.
In St. Charles? I hear they got it trademarked.
You should buy. You could get a whole bunch of land in North St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. No, I would certainly pay off debts. I would probably buy my husband land for hunting and fishing because he loves to hunt and he doesn't have a place to hunt right now. He has places that he can go, but there's just a lot of hoops to jump through and he doesn't want to ever feel like he's a burden. So I would do that for him.
Brad?
A good 10, 15 acres with a nice water, creek, and
That's
timber.
a great answer. Good
and
answer.
and a double wide to put on it so that we could go stay out there and
Hey-o.
prep.
Brad?
Probably buying some land, maybe not 10 or 15 acres, but a good chunk of land. I'll build a house and garage and have some cool cars.
2 for 2 so far. I'm assuming Ryan would just buy the
Candy.
Burgle Nuts Company.
He'd buy.
I already own that LLC and website.
That's what he's been doing for the last
Burgle
6
Nuts
minutes.
LLC. No wonder his on-air commentary has been so bad.
I'm going to BurgleNuts.com.
BurgleNuts.com. Buy it right now because somebody's about to take it.
What if I buy BurgleNuts.com and just have it redirect to AnnieFryShow.com?
I think you should do that.
You totally should do that.
Don't tempt me.
But
with
then
a
we
good
have to
time.
call this segment that all the time now.
No, I don't.
I mean, so if you're stuck with Murphin's Burgle Nuts,
It's not like if we did refer to it every time as that it would make it a good decision.
wait, I'll advise this. Wait till you hear all weeks because I think they
Is it going to get better or worse?
Tomorrow's is, kind of average, I think funny.
You're gonna be buying
but then Thursday and Friday.
How do you spell BurgleNuts?
B-E-R-G-L-E or E-L?
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It is B-U-R-G-L-E
N-U-T-Z?
N-U-T-S. We're not being stupid here. This isn't
That's
Bratz.
actually how it's typed on his screen.
Yeah, it is. Murphin's Burgle Nuts. To answer your question, what would I do with 1.2? Thank you for asking. I would get a Bezos-style yacht.
Only
need more than
smaller.
that. Yeah.
What would you put it on? Lake Litchfield?
If they'd have me.
That's called Jaeger, Lou Jaeger. BurgleNuts.com is available. I don't know why. Seems like a real keeper.
Well, if somebody takes it, you better not take BurgleNuts.net.
If I get BurgleNuts.com, I'm going to put the goofiest picture I have of you, the one of you holding the 97.1 sign on the golf course. Where it looks like you naked, and BurgleNuts.com is going to go to AnnieFryShow.com/that picture.
The picture needs to be the link.
Why?
Right here.
I'll just scratch it out.
That, you can only click right. You got to search around the picture to find the link. There it is.
It's going to be the most visited page on AnnieFryShow.com.
Why
the heck is this?
Why Murphin? Why the M?
It's just evolving. What would you do with $1 million?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would definitely pay for a nice vacation. Like
travel.
Go see Europe, Asia. I would definitely do that. Besides that, I don't know. As far as like fun spending, I don't know. I'd probably like try and find some really cool old baseball memorabilia and bring that into my collection.
Yeah.
Outside of like, a house and car.
Ethan just won the lottery. What's he doing? He's traveling through East Asia with a Pedro Guerrero bat. He's living the dream.
What Pedro Guerrero do you? That's the top of mine?
That's what he said he was going to do.
Oh, man. Do you have any other story to shore this back up?
Do you want me to?
Quickly. We need to cleanse.
Chick-fil-A has introduced a new menu item that is exclusive to the St. Louis market for the next 2 weeks.
St. Louis hot chicken?
Smokehouse barbecue nuggets are exclusively available at all 23 Chick-fil-A locations in the greater St. Louis area, marking the first time these saucy nuggets have been offered anywhere in the country. The nuggets can be ordered grilled or regular, and they come with pickles. You are pathetic, Ryan Wiggins.
Ryan's favorite thing in the world is saucy nugs.
Yeah, pre-sauced. I'll sauce them myself if I have to.
It's part of.
But I like when the lady does it.
You're pathetic. Dear God. Can I send us to break, Annie? This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk. Thank God that's over.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-355-8282. That's 800-355-8282. Again, that's 800-355-8282.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade. Dana Carvey. Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
This year, fuel prices have been a bit of a roller coaster.
Here in St. Louis, drivers finally have some relief at the pump. But when it comes to groceries and food, it's still pretty bumpy out there. Well, you know what can make your ride smoother? The Upside app. With Upside, you can earn an average 8% cash back on grocery or restaurant purchases and up to 25 cents per gallon on gas, which means there's money to be earned even when fuel prices are low. There are hundreds of nearby locations like Schnucks, Burger King, Arby's, and Taco Bell. Download the app and see why millions of Upside users have racked up almost $1 billion in cash back earned. For a limited time, get a 10% bonus on your first purchase with promo code STL11. That's promo code STL11 for an extra 10% cash back bonus. With Upside, you can roll up to a nearby grocery store, restaurant, or gas station and coast straight to cash back earnings. Don't forget to use promo code STL11. Upside. Cashback smarter. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell for full exposure of the Epstein details? You can support a pardon, you can just do clemency, or no, none of them all together. Let us know what you think about this, and we'll give you the results here shortly before 3 o'clock. It is 2:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Bold takes, real talk, no apologies. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Things haven't been quite the same.
X's and Y's.
X's and Y's, where we remind the listening audience that there are boys and girls, and they are not the same. Educational, right?
Yeah, thank you for that reminder, because I forget often. I look around and I just see androgynous sex neuters.
Trisha.
What? Hey.
Trisha.
I'm here.
Did you listen to the last segment?
No.
Thank God.
That's on you.
It's all local
Maybe
news.
don't. All right, X's and Y's. We're asking questions. Boys asking girls questions, and vice versa. What do you got?
My first question is about driving, because that's been the Wiggins America topic today. Do women actually want men to drive the car?
Ooh, thank you for taking it this way. Every single time. Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Please.
Yes.
Is it because women are worse drivers?
Oh,
or is
Come on.
Brad, you could probably field that.
I could.
Okay,
We'll
just
wait.
making sure you could.
We'll wait. Go ahead.
No, I won't, but I could. No, they're just as good.
Well, anyway,
Thanks,
back
Brad.
to our original question, since that one seems to have gone nowhere.
Ethan, who's a better driver, you or your wife?
we're different drivers.
That's
She's
not
a
the
very
question.
careful driver, and I am, I think, similar to you, a more
Wait a
efficient
second.
driver.
That was my word. Don't use my spin on me. That's not how I don't like this, Ethan.
I just did.
Go put some aloe on.
Oh, that's just mean.
Are you okay?
No.
You do look tan right now.
No, I don't. You're lying.
I would have liked to have seen it a day or two ago.
Oh,
When
yes.
was the scene? What was the scene of the crime? When was the day?
Saturday was the point of impact.
Okay. He was directly on the sun.
Basically.
Did you pass out?
Basically.
I don't.
What are you thinking, Ryan?
I want my husband to drive every single time, except for maybe if we're going downtown St. Louis and I just know the lay of the land better. but I am a bad side seat driver. So
You're a bad side seat driver, but you still want him to drive?
Mm-hmm. I just want him to drive like me.
Yeah. I want him to do it the right way, but I want him to do it.
Do you gasp?
Oh. And I gasp and say sorry at the same time. I can't help it. It's involuntary.
It has to be.
Does your wife gasp?
Yes.
Isn't it the most demeaning thing? It's so
It is.
I hate
It's
it.
like, do you not trust me?
It's like, please just stop
Yes.
doing anything.
Well, it also scares you.
Well, here's the thing. This is
I'll say, I know you see it. I know you see it. I know you see it.
You were going to hit that guy if I didn't gasp. No,
I
I wasn't.
I know this is
the truth behind the gasp. This is important. The truth behind the gasp is that we are not paying attention to the road, and we look up and there are brakes, and it's the first time that we see them.
Yes, we know that.
And then we go, and then we do this. And grab the dashboard.
Yeah,
And the
like you're
side
gonna
of the
die.
door. Yeah, we think we are for a second. How do you expect us? You think we're going to be chill when we think we're facing death?
We want you to either pay attention or not pay attention. Don't periodically come in and gasp.
At the wrong possible time.
We do like
Worst time.
performance reviews.
I think they're
like
facing
mid-break.
facing death multiple times per drive.
Does your wife gasp?
Yes, and we have conversations about it each time because, like Ryan says, it freaks me out because she's seeing something that I've already accounted for and adjusting to, and when she goes, I'm looking for something else. Then maybe there is something that I missed.
Yeah,
So-
you're in the car thinking there's another car about to T-bone you that you did not notice.
Trisha, have you ever gasped when it was necessary?
Probably not.
Oh.
Have I ever gasped? Yet.
Like,
yes.
have you ever reacted to something that was real that maybe they didn't see, or maybe they were seeing at the same time, but that was your natural reaction? Like, if something is happening, it could very much so not be the fault of the driver, and you could still really fast. But can you think of any times ever where
No.
you've done that and it was because maybe the attention wasn't 100% there?
He's slower to brake than I am, and he'll have conversations with me and not be eyes on the road, which I would like 10 and 2 and eyes on the road when
know,
he's driving. But no, I don't think I've ever saved us from gasping.
What with gasping, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
With
husband
gasping. Thank
will be
you.
telling a story, and this is sweet. But if he tells me something, he'll like want to look at me.
Yes.
I'm like, you don't need to see my face. Just keep him on the front of the road. And I mean, it's not like he's driving and looking at a 90-degree angle the whole time. But he'll be talking, and then he'll look over to me and like look for a reaction, and I'm like, nah. I have been in some serious car accidents, so I will preface any woman who has the gasp going on that it is, I think, based on previous experience in the car. I've been in multiple accidents, including one that we were going 65 miles an hour up to Chicago, and we rolled 8 times into the highway. Like, I don't know how my whole family survived that. That was when I was a kid. So I have a very firm grasp on how fragile the situation can be, and I can't help it. And I tell him, I've talked to you about this before, I think, Ethan, but like, I will say to my husband, like, I know that you're fully capable of driving your whole family here right now. I'm just really stressed out right now. I'm very nervous about this. So I'm not I know you're going to keep us safe, but if it's possible to have a little more distance or something like that, I will do my best to suppress my reaction. I do love you and respect you, but I'm just telling you this is where I am right now.
See, most women don't say that.
Well, I didn't for about 20 years. This is wisdom that has come with doing it wrong for a long time.
I hate it when you're driving other people and your wife is next to you and you get the gasp or the whoa, because then you got this thought of like, oh, now the people in the back think I'm a bad driver, and then I feel just a little bit like kind of turtle shell.
It makes you feel small.
Yeah, it does, Ryan. How'd
What if
you
you are?
know?
I need to ask the other side of this question, though, first,
Mm-hmm.
before we move on. Guys, do you ever not want to drive?
Is it I'm going to follow up. Is it emasculating to be driven around by your woman?
A little bit. It's not deeply emasculating,
It's
but
like
it's
enough emasculation that you're comfortable
enough
with
that
it.
you're like, I don't know that I want to deal with that level of emasculation ever. So I'm a no. I would say other than maybe on a very long car trip, and even then, I'm probably still default driving the whole thing. But if she says, "Hey, I wouldn't mind taking a shift," and I'm real tired or something like that,
Taking
maybe.
a what?
A shift. I wouldn't mind stopping and pulling over that pumpkin patch and taking a shift.
Why a
As you do on any good road trip.
That's what you judge what you do.
As one does.
As one does.
Is it emasculating for your lady to be driving you around, Ethan?
No, I don't think so.
I love how all these notes are like, which means a little.
Maybe
but you don't
a
care.
teeny bit, but it's not. I don't know. It's not a big deal. I
Brad?
mean, when you're doing it the majority of the time.
I would like to say no, but I know how I look at other guys when they're women.
You judge other.
Oh,
you
I
judge
absolutely
men
do.
when women are driving them.
Yeah,
Is that right?
but I usually pretend like they have an injury or something that's preventing them from driving.
They didn't learn how to use their other foot to drive the car yet.
I'm
probably
certain
got
he's
a
got a broken
condition.
ankle
Brad makes up
that
a
I can't see.
backstory for this
I got your
guy.
back, bro.
What kind of
probably
when
got a
you
concussion.
when you see a man in the passenger seat of his wife's minivan, what do you think about Chad?
Chad. That's not his
I
name.
was gonna say Brad because that's like in every name, but that's you.
Brad says Chad was probably in a bar fight last night, and he needs
He
to be
was
taken to the
got
ER by
injured,
his wife.
doing the most manly things possible.
Honestly, I'm like, why don't you like driving? Because the only thing that I can think of is you just mustn't like driving. So that's why you don't want to drive.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with you, Chad? You mustn't like driving.
What is wrong with you?
Have a burgle nut.
Brad, you got a question?
Yeah, and so I'm not going to make it through this whole one before you guys start making fun of me. But you need to
Checks
listen
out.
to the whole question so it makes sense.
All right, everybody, hold on a second. Everybody else in the room, turn your mic off until Brad says mic's on.
Okay.
This is. Do old women walk naked around the gym locker rooms for hours, or is that just the old men?
Are you trying to get into the women's locker room here?
No,
For
I didn't
show?
say mic's on yet, guys.
Oh,
Mic's on. No.
Yeah, is there more questions?
No, mic's on.
He literally said mic's on right after.
Tuesdays.
And also, what's that like?
No, I just know that like
back on.
whenever I go to the gym, if you go in the middle of the day, there's some maybe 3, 4, 5 different old guys just walking around the whole locker room, no shame, stuff hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
For
I've heard
hours,
of-
though?
And
I've
I'm
heard
just
of
wondering
this.
if that's a generational thing or a generational guy thing is what I'm wondering.
this doesn't happen.
I don't see women doing this.
No.
Okay. So
We're
that's
not
a
interested.
generational. That's an answer.
It's a dude thing.
The one
and
thing
it's-
you might see in a women's locker room is somebody discreetly trying to, like if you were swimming or something like that, I don't think women are usually stripping down naked out in the open. You could maybe see somebody in the corner putting on a shirt or something. Like you see people in their underwear, maybe putting on a bra, but it's like the intent is to be quick and private and away from people. There is no strutting. And if there were, I would not go back there.
I have seen men in
But those-
gyms full naked having straight up full frontal conversations with each other.
Yeah,
I've
Are you
heard
one
of
of
like
this.
leaning on the
Yeah.
pole or whatever.
Hey, what's up,
bizarre
old
to
saggy
me.
Bob?
Do you guys think you'll do that when you get older?
No.
I know one of them will.
Yeah. I will probably do that when I'm older.
Hey, so it's an age thing.
It's a social experiment.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll do one more question when we get back, plus a quick round the room on the YouTube live chat poll. Would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell? For full exposure of Epstein details, Annie Fry YouTube channel, go vote. One more X's and Y's question when we get back. Don't go away.
This summer, while you stay cool, our first responders stay on the front lines. The St. Louis First Responder Canteen is there to keep them hydrated and supported. Find out how you can help by visiting 971talk.com/talkinaction.
Like I said before, tariffs had absolutely zero effect on our equipment pricing. No manufacturer raised their prices. What has affected the pricing is the previous 4 years of these ridiculous mandates. I mean, I say ridiculous, it's shameful. But that being said, if you're told that you need a new system, or your air conditioner is bad, or you're looking to replace your system, if you want a common sense approach which works for you, your family, and your budget. When I say your budget, it never is what you want it to be on this equipment, but common sense approach 15, 20 minutes of your time and explain to you your options. No Kool-Aid being handed out. I'm Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I. The easiest way to get a hold of me with the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, there's only one, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic deal. God bless.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired? Do you have your personalized income plan in place? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market? And how in 39 years we have never lost a penny of our clients' money?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
All right, wrapping up X's and Y's here, and then we're getting to the YouTube live chat poll. You've got about a minute or two to get your vote in. Would you support a pardon or clemency of some kind for Ghislaine Maxwell for full exposure of the Epstein details? Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can go vote there. Last question that I have for you boys. How often do you cry, and has your approach to crying changed over the years of life that you have lived? Brad?
Oh, man. Not often. Over a year between. So, yeah. And does it approach? What do you mean by
what does crying mean to you? Are you okay with it, or you try not to do it? Or?
It's just, I usually just don't. But when it happens, it's just, there's no stopping it. It just, out it comes. So,
Ryan?
I would say I only cry when something is so raw and emotional, like the sound of a child's laughter.
Oh my gosh.
Or a phone call from a beloved friend. If I see my friend who I haven't talked to in years, I'll just start crying.
We don't have time for this. Answer the question.
Answered the question. I will only cry once in a while in church.
Are you? Would you say you're an emotional person?
Yeah. kind of.
Are you
Although less
okay
so
with
the
crying?
older I get.
Do you try to not cry?
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I really try hard to not cry, but I don't try to cry.
It just doesn't really
Yeah.
manifest itself that way.
Yeah.
Ethan?
I would say that consistently the only place that I get emotional is at church, like during worship. But outside of that, I would say that I am not extremely emotional, and sometimes that frustrates me because I would like to be able to express them a little bit better, specifically to my wife, like when
Yeah.
she's going through things. And I feel sometimes just like completely emotionless. So
Real quick
yeah.
before, like Ethan is 20 years younger than us, do you feel like your emotion and how you handle in a relationship, has that changed a lot over the time you spent being married? Have you gotten better at it?
Yeah, I think better.
Sharing emotions with your wife?
I think talking through them, for sure.
Like being present. What about you, Brad?
I don't know that I share emotion. I think people just know what my emotions are. I don't think I'm very good at hiding them. So.
With your spouse?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I don't mind seeing men cry, especially in situations where like something is powerful, worship or a funeral or even like a wedding if it's a sentimental thing. I don't see men crying and think anything negative about that whatsoever. But if you're like sobbing because Britney Spears is like having a bad day or something like that, I'm hardcore judging you. Just like Brad judges men being driven by their wives.
Drive your cars, guys.
But it was a really bad day.
On this poll, I am leaning towards Clemency if everything is exposed. Ryan, you real quick.
Same.
Brad?
That's where I'm at. Clemency.
Ethan, give us the results today.
242 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Would you support a pardon or clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell for full exposure of the Epstein details? 52% say no, 37% say clemency, 11% say pardon.
Wow. All right. Thanks for voting today. We'll be back tomorrow. Keep it here. The Mark Ruin Show's next.
It's one of baseball's fiercest rivalries, the Cubs versus the Cardinals, and the action returns to Busch Stadium the weekend of August 8th through the 10th. Feel the heat, the history, and the excitement as these two legendary teams battle it out under the summer lights. 3 big games, 2 historic teams, 1 electric atmosphere you won't want to miss. Great seats remain. Secure yours today at Cardinals.com.
This is Wilson Contreras, San Luis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game, it's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody, it's our favorite song.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Matt Hayes is ready to take your phone call and come to your home, Missouri and Illinois, and assess the problematic, unlevel, safety hazard, ugly concrete situation that you have. He has a solution for you that is a cost-effective way to level out that concrete situation at your home. And it could be a variety of different places at your home, including your garage floor. If your garage floor has cracked, maybe it's settled, you might want to know how significant that problem could end up being. It could be disastrous if there is a gaping hole that is formed based on a poorly formed foundation and water comes in, and pretty soon you're going to have a big problem on your hands, or maybe it's not that bad at all. Home Shield Foundation Repair can come assess it, tell you what they can do for you, let you know what it's going to cost, and then you can make an educated decision on what you want to do next. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314